Hello, everyone, and welcome to Tina's RPG show, I guess. And really leaning into the I guess today because my name is Frozen Flygon. I'm going to be taking over for Tina today. And this is our lead-in to a fantastic premiere event. It's our Frame Fatale's Game of the Month celebration. So since 2019, the Frame Fatale's all-women speedrunning server, we learn a new game every month, and this marathon is going to be mini marathon happening today and tomorrow is going to have all of our Game of the Month entries in a row. And so we're getting started with two of the RPGs. We're going to have Final Fantasy 1 followed by Final Fantasy 4. So it's like a crossover episode between Tina's RPG show and the Frame Fatale's Game of the Month celebration. Before we get into the first round, have a handful of announcements. So Summer Games Done Quick 2022 game submissions are open now until March 30th. So you have a few more days to get your submissions in. You can find more information at gamesdonequick.com and head to your profile to submit runs. If you're watching on YouTube, go to twitch.tv/gamesdonequick if you're interested in looking at all of our live content, starting weeknights at 7 p.m. Eastern and weekends at 1 p.m. Eastern. So I am super excited to introduce our first run. You can see the schedule of all of our runs by doing !schedule. And we're going to get started today with Final Fantasy 1 any percent. And here we've got our runner Kaguya Nikki and Demarine. How are you two doing today?
Good afternoon. I'm Kaguya Nikki.
I'm Demarine, and I'm real excited to be here as always.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be amazing. All right.
Are we ready to jump on in?
Yep, just quickly getting some names done. And we're ready in 3, 2, 1, let's go.
All right, good luck.
So yeah, Final Fantasy 1. The PSP version, the most broken version. You will see why soon. But first, we need to get a hammer. Demi, tell us what we are going to do with the hammer.
All right, so there's a really big glitch in this particular version, and what you can kind of see is that we're creating Knight's Armor out of nothing. You can't get Knight's Armor at this point in the game normally. Essentially what we're doing is by switching characters and the slot at the same time and then pushing A, we're basically mapping one set of items to the other set of items. So we're mapping weapons to armor, we map armor to weapons later. But the idea is that since they're in two different tables, we're basically pulling from the hammer location in the armor table, and that's where Knight's Armor is, which has 32 armor, and normally can only be equipped on the warrior and on your chest.
Yeah.
Oh, I see.
Just for comparison, the Knights, if you were to run a glitchless category like GBA or the glitchless, which are kind of similar, the Knight's Armor is the armor that the warrior as tank gets in the late game for the final boss.
Yeah, it's that tier of gear in most versions. PSP, interestingly enough, the other reason why the PSP game breaks so much is that, the stuff that you can get in the original vanilla game is pretty good, right? Like, the Masamune is a sword with 61 attack power and very good accuracy. And accuracy actually increases the number of hits you get from the weapon if we want to get into the technical stuff, which is to state that you get to swing it more every turn because, as I love to say in every Final Fantasy 1 run, this is just a glorified D&D campaign. There are better weapons in the PSP version because there is extra super double bonus content that we're not going to see. But it is important because the tables now map into that ultra special double secret equipment that we can get potentially. Including, eventually we will get the weapon that you get from the final boss that you do not need from the final boss. Right now, though, we're mapping armor to weapons now. So we're mapping helmet, the leather cap, when mapped to the weapon spot, maps to a weapon that you can get in one of the extra dungeons called the Judgment Staff. Not a great melee weapon per se, but better than anything we can get right now. But if we hold it up above our heads and say the magic words, it casts Flare. Which is pretty good.
Yeah, the Judgment Staff in comparison is not a PSP bonus dungeon drop. It is only GBA bonus dungeon dropped by Atmos. And floor 10 of the arguably hardest bonus dungeon of the GBA version. At least it has the most difficult bosses. But yeah, we're off to an amazing start. You can already see, so we have really good armor. We have pretty good weapons. What we don't have yet is anything that helps us run away.
Yeah, running
And
away
our
is...
levels will not help that. So yeah, we will hope to not see many encounters like those wolves. But yeah, here's Garland. You might all know him from this new game that has come out. Strange of Paradise, I believe.
Wait, is this the part where is this the part where we make killing chaos memes?
Yes, we have to kill chaos. I mean, how could we not? But yeah, first we gotta bonk Garland a lot.
With our clubs. With our So.
But yeah, we saved the princess. Yay, the world is saved. And as a reward, the workers will finally finish building the bridge, which they have been working on for forever. But yeah, only now they're actually motivated to, like, do something and not just chill. Except for that one guy. If you look closely, there's one that's just a bit more lazy than the others. Like, don't mind him. He's just chilling.
He's having himself a day. It's fine.
Yeah, like everyone else is like doing fast movements, and he's like doop, 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 doop. Not to be underestimated. Sometimes you just don't go too fast.
I mean, look, the bridge is done. It's the unskippable cutscene that we have to deal with here, also with a bit of load time here because the PSP is, you know, a notoriously slow console at certain points here. As you can see, they were trying to mash out through these dialogue boxes, and you can see that the button option to get out of the dialogue box is not coming up.
That cutscene was pretty cute, though, so, I mean, it could be worse.
Yeah.
I like the whole bridge build animation.
All the other cutscenes for now, like in the Pixel Remaster versions of News, for example, you have to go through like the starting cutscene, the bridge cutscene, and this one. This one is even skippable on the PSP version. Or you're just like Warriors of Light. No, it's not Warriors of Light. Warriors of the Crystal?
Yeah,
Warriors of Light is 4, right?
Like, the official terminology now is that the warrior is like the warrior of light from Final Fantasy 1 if you look at like Final Fantasy Dissidia or other Final Fantasy based media.
I never
So
played Dissidia.
it's a little weird. It's a little weird how this works out. Yeah, running from the single lizard doesn't really make a ton of sense, so we're just gonna bonk it with a stick.
I mean, you can bonk it and get another level, which gives you a bit more agility, which might just save your turn or make fleeing from the next encounter easier, so... It is a bit late, but I generally still like doing it. Biggest one would have been the same. Okay, now we do that in the right order, because I just tend to not to, because it's kinda new. But if we go shopping first, then also look at this knight's armor, casual 18k. Because yeah, we glitched the 5th. The nice thing about glitching is also, so if you go and get armor that you don't have, then it will just generate one from you. So what we did was we didn't just generate one for each, we generated the 5th one that we can just sell for a nice 18k. And yeah, why we went shopping here earlier is after defeating the pirates, there will be NPCs, and there might be an NPC in the way. So, yeah. It is just minor details, but as a speedrunner, you just have to take all the minor details there are. It might save you frames.
Yep, it's a little odd, but it's kind of just a super tiny optimization, which admittedly in a run, which is only about an hour and a half long, give or take a couple of minutes for extremely bad luck. That's how this works, right? So we're going.
Can we just run? Yes, things. So here we coming to. I think this is maybe even one of the big time. If you are trying to go for really good times, then getting encounter on the sea early is like really bad because most of them are really tough to run from.
Yeah, single Big Eye is like the only realistic runnable one. So when we talk about things that we can run from, is that basically running is a factor of agility. So it compares your agility to the enemy's agility. There's a big formula that you can go look up on gamepacks.com probably.
Actually, it's a bit more. Like, agility depends when your turn is. Running away depends on agility, intelligence, and luck. Which is amazing.
That's a lot of numbers, but agility is the stat that we're going to be able to pump in a little bit in terms of equipment. So we're going to do our best on that particular front once the time comes, which is not right now, sadly.
Yeah. Also, you might have seen how I went into Alpines there. So there are two reasons. One, it just skips 3 steps on the overmap. Always nice. And second, how random encounters are calculated. So how it works is you basically have 2 multipliers. One is the amount of steps since your last encounter, I believe up to 32. Like 1, 2, 3, 4, up to 32. If you manage to not get one within 32, it just stays there. Which is why we went into the town, in order to reset that number. And the other number is dependent on the area you are in, which in caves is always the same. But on the world map, for example, it makes a difference if you are in a forest, if you are on the field, if you are on a marsh tile. Because forests have a pretty high encounter rate, fields are like average, marsh has even lower, sea has the low. I think sea has the lowest, river should be between sea and marsh. But yeah, that way you also like on the world map look out for where exactly you go and can like optimize it a bit that way.
Yep, so now we're in Marsh Cave. Normally exceedingly dangerous in pretty much every version of this game that is not Eye of Knight's armor strapped to everybody's back. Pretty rough in GBA, really bad in Pixel Remaster, not even a ton of fun in NES. But for us, this is probably the easiest version of doing this dungeon, thankfully.
Also, the PSP version has just the lowest encounter rate of like all versions. So we just didn't get a single encounter all the way to the biscuit demons just now. Good times.
Good times.
That's so interesting how the encounter rate would be so different between the versions. That's really interesting.
Yeah.
Well, every version handles the encounter table differently. By the way, here's our crown. This is our reward for coming down here. You know, if you talk to NPCs, they tell you that. But we're going to deliver this to the real Elf King, who is a nice guy and definitely not going to betray us or attempt to stab us in the back. But yeah, every version of this game handles the encounter rate differently. Going from NES, which was a very tightly fixed table, which basically said you're going to get an encounter after X steps, so on and so forth, all the way down to the extremely, basically, nearly completely random, at least within the bounds of the pseudo-random generator that is Pixel Remaster.
Well, Pixel Remaster just gives you one. I always say an average every 30 steps, plus minus 5. Probably even less than plus minus 5. Oh, nice. So that was kind of simple. While here you have like a lot more tech behind it. But yeah, it is pretty interesting. But yeah, low encounter rate also means like if you go for good times. Yeah, you are kind of reliant on that.
Yeah, and of course the big thing is things like that ambush, which 6 enemies get to attack before you even get to input an action, is not great for going fast. There's no way to manipulate that, though. That is just a random variable that gets rolled on every fight. So good luck with that too.
People have tried to like manipulate some kind of step route with like a pendulum, I believe, but I think they never really was successful.
Yeah, the manip ended up there's only one manipulation that's ever really been successful, and that is emergency exit manip in GBA.
GBA, yeah. Oh, I should also still kill stuff.
You do need.
We'll have to see.
You'll have to kill one encounter because you only got 2 Pisco demons. If you get 3 or 4,
it depends which one.
Yeah,
I have had it in practice, and I killed one encounter. I think an ogre, and the ogre alone wasn't enough.
So yeah, so here's the thing: is that if your warrior dies in the Astos fight, your black mage will get 8 anyway. If your warrior does not die in this fight, or I guess your thief could die too. You just don't want your black mage to die. It's a pain in the butt because you need level 8 on the black mage up to this point.
Yeah, we want level 8 after this fight in order to teach the black mage Fire and Samara.
Yeah, like normally if you want to be super safe and you're learning the run, if you find a second tier ogre on the way, you'll just flare it and get that extra experience just to be safe. Also, you'll notice that your fighter in thief are...
Okay.
That was spicy.
That was...
Roller coaster go up, roller coaster go down, roller coaster go back up. Everything is fine.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, we did kill the lizard earlier, so an ogre alone should be fine. The lizard should have given me 12 XP. We just need to find a single ogre. Did you see that, Danny?
Mithril sword drop? Yeah.
Yep, Mithril sword drop. So one thing about the GBA and PSP version is that drops are incredibly rare. Like, the only drop you could at all get kinda regularly is, like, gold needles on cockatrices. Everything else you will just not see.
There's
sadly,
only one... Go ahead.
It's also not helpful.
Yeah, there's like only one drop that ever, like, affects the run, per se, if you want to waste a little bit of time doing it, which I think it's a leather shield from the pirates.
In old routes, in other routes, yes, because the leather shield can turn into a mage staff.
Yeah.
There's our level 8. So yeah, now we have a Mithril sword that in GBA you would really celebrate that. In GBA that would be really, really amazing. But yeah. Sadly, no. Also, we'll take a small detour here. This is a safe run, not a world record attempt, so we do want gold needles in order to cure petrification. I only bought 11 Phoenix Stones earlier, right. But yeah. We have basically the longsword from Garland and the Mithril sword from Estes, who both are amazing glitchless runs, and just absolutely a waste of space. Because as you can see, if we glitch, we just have a lot of items to choose from. And now the Mithril sword is just gonna be in the way.
This matters later on when I used to run this game where I would forget to put the right equipment on the white mage and it was just bad times all the way around.
Look at me who forgot to Ethan.
Didn't get, I'm like, wait, no. Now I'm sad.
I forgot to Ether, yeah. So usually we would want to use Sandara because, well, Flare takes a long, long time. If you have seen the Flare animation, Flare is just, it takes forever. And simply because of...
8 seconds, in fact.
8 seconds? I didn't even remember the time. But yeah, in comparison, Sandara takes 3 seconds. Fire 4. So if we can choose the shorter spell, we immediately save a lot of time. Also, HP values are looking pretty okay. Like, very okay.
Also, chat continues to be interested in how you got judgment staves, but we'll go over that glitch a couple of more times in the run. So
yes, very soon.
Oh yeah, as soon as these wolves go away and stop ambushing us,
I would like to say in less than 2 minutes,
on, wolves.
But I mean, if we get more wolf encounters like these that can quickly take like a minute, it's just not how it works. I should have used. No, it's just wolves.
You're fine. It's fine. It's fine. Everything's fine.
We're in the cave. We're chilling. Things are good.
Yeah.
Yep.
We're going to a blind witch.
Yeah, because we looted a crystalline orb from Astos because he terrible, and so we wanted to steal from the evil guy. Matoya is very blind without the crystal eye.
Yeah, casually you would probably have gone here a lot earlier, and she would have told you that she wants her eye, like, to see something. But fortunately, like, this game is pretty old, and there is no such thing as you need to talk to NPCA to unlock certain, like, door open or anything. Like, every trigger for the story is just locked behind items.
Yep.
So we can just directly leeway towards the parts that we need.
this, of course, was very interesting because the actual game of the month that was done for Final Fantasy I was not PSP. It was Final Fantasy I NES Randomizer, a game which I have run plenty in my time. But yes, because in every version of this game, Final Fantasy I, it's just all of the scripting is just based on items and nothing else. It let you do some really neat things in terms of randomization. So it allowed for a lot of freedom in getting things set up on that particular front.
So yeah, I'm not bothering the Sargans. Bye-bye. Couldn't care less. Even if there are no eyes there, would just like to petrify you. Not petrify, stun you.
Yep.
Bad enough. Yeah, no.
More poison. But yeah, the other major thing, of course, is that when you go to Matoya and you give her crystal eye back, she gives you a 6-pack of Red Bull, which you need to use to wake up the Self Prince. Why we need 6 of them? Elven hearts are a lot stronger than ours, I guess.
I mean, do you know how old Sinus is? He is an elf.
Yeah, that's fair. And he's elf royalty, so he's probably been around for a long, long time.
Probably. I mean, usually you only become royalty if, like, you have survived all the ones before you.
Either way, we jam a half a dozen Red Bulls down the Elf Prince's throat, and he wakes up, because that's a lot of caffeine. Do not drink 6 Red Bulls in one day. This is a thing you should not do.
You do not.
But of course, for chat, we're going to glitch again here. So essentially, again, what we're doing is we start on the weapon slot, and then we map over to an armor slot using L and R, and we hit A or confirm, which is the X button on the PSP, if I remember correctly, at the same time. And you can see that this is creating items that don't exist in our inventory, right? We only have bronze gloves and armor that the knight can equip, for example. But by doing this, we create thieves armlets, and these give us an absolute pile. A big stack of agility apiece. I think it's 5 apiece for thieves armlets. Later on, we get gear that gives even more, but 5 apiece increases all of our agility by 15, which greatly increases our chances of going first and slightly increases our chances of running. Both of which are pretty rad. God, your thief is terrible. God, your thief.
Yeah, we've also glitched Sage's saves, which give 15 intelligence. Talking about intelligence is nice for running away. And for just making our spells a lot stronger, because unlike the NES version, spells actually scale with intelligence. Not every point, but every 10 points. And pretty significantly.
Yep, you basically get another spell multiplier, which is based on the spell power every 10 intelligence, so...
And yeah, just for comparison, I think like base stat, we have like, I don't know, the Black Mage might let's have 15 intelligence. The thief has maybe 10 agility. Like, the increase we have is pretty massive.
We don't care about any of the other boxes here at this point, but we're going to get the nitro powder. We're going to get some explosives for creating a canal.
We're just blowing stuff up. We just like blowing stuff up.
Dwarven engineering.
And just wanted to say that this episode of Tina's RPG show, I guess, is also a crossover with the Frame Fatale's Game of the Month celebration that's happening today and tomorrow. You can get more information with ! schedule to see all the runs we have. Besides these first 2, they go in order from when the Frame Fatale's ladies started learning the runs in 2019. And you can also do ! GOTM to get more information about our program.
Go watch Poke Clicker, it's amazing.
Yes, I will be running Poke Clicker tomorrow and continue to get more people to, you know, spend hours and hours in that idle game. It's gonna be great.
I guess I also need to deliver a run after I have like shown that great time I had without even.
I know. Nikki's really, really good at Poke Clicker. Yeah.
Yeah, no. I pulled a hey, I want to test some strats. I'm not even sure if I want to finish.
Casual unrecorded world record for a category. Always record.
Don't worry. All I had was a 3rd dungeon entry Weedle and a shiny Pidgey.
Shiny Pidgey, you love to see it? I caught Mew in one of my PBs, which was very funny.
Okay. It is time to blow stuff up.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
Heck yeah.
Look at that giant explosion just
You need to
throwing
wonder
water
in a
everywhere.
sense, don't you? Like, these dwarfs just dig a lot, and then they just blow it up again. Like, how do they even live underground if they are just blowing it up all the time?
We do have a question from chat. Which FF1 version would you all consider to be the best one?
Oh, I just saw that one. Do you want to start, Danny?
The best version of Final Fantasy 1, huh? Oh, that's hard. I mean, if I were just to say, if you're going to play it casually and do all the fun extra content and go through the game, PSP is probably the best version overall, in my opinion.
PSP has the most content. I will still stick to my bread and butter GBA. It does like the Citadel of... whatchamacallit?
Yeah,
Oh, goodness. One bonus dungeon. Diddle.
I want to say it's the Corridors of Time, but that's not exactly what it is.
Yeah. We need to go there. But yeah, the experience you need to level up in this version is just so much higher. Oh yeah, we probably need to sell our 4 Knights armors from earlier because we have already... I mean, here you can see you could buy them, but why would you do that?
I just create them out of thin air with magic and good luck, I guess. But yeah, we mentioned being able to make swords that are in the super ultra hidden extra super content in this game, but here's barbarian swords. We're gonna make a pair of them. One for the knight, one for the thief. These outclass literally everything. I looked up what the last dungeon was. The extra bonus dungeon is the Labyrinth of Time. Labyrinth of Time. Right, and you normally get the Barbarian Sword from the last version of the last boss of the Labyrinth of Time, which means that by the time you've gotten it, you don't need it anymore.
So Labyrinth of Time has a hidden super boss Crenodia, which has 7 different forms, and the Barbarian Sword is the one that you get, oh could we not, oh could we, no. Which you get by defeating the 7th and most difficult form. And I couldn't care less, I have not saved at all yet, so we do not want to get sandlocked.
So we're blowing this up.
But fortunately just 5 and not 9.
Yep. So yeah.
Sure, let's just... I should have probably done that ages ago. I will do soon anyways again, because cockatrices are a thing, but... You cannot save too much. I have seen marathon runs that haven't saved enough. No.
Saving is good. I'm a fan of saving.
I remember my very first marathon run of a game was Final Fantasy 1 PSP, and it might have been the most scuffed speedrun I've ever done on a stream anywhere.
Oh no!
You weren't there when we talked about it on chat, right? I was like, I remember it, but I don't remember the runners. Well, Phil was in chat and remembered the runners.
Yeah, it was myself and my friend Sonnyrath, and what ended up happening was that I took 2 deaths in places I've never taken deaths before, and I ran the game a bunch afterwards and never took deaths since. Which was really, really rough, especially because the second one was like the bottom of Volcano, and I had to save for like 20 minutes. And then my co-runner, because we were racing, goes into the final dungeon, gets ambushed by frost dragons and absolutely blown up in 2 sets of turns trying to run away. And he hadn't saved he also hadn't saved in 45 minutes.
Yeah. But yeah, usually I actually run versions of Final Fantasies that ironically have autosave, which makes the question of saving a lot easier. But yeah, there was a question: can mages? So the general topic of the glitching is that the original item has to be able to be equipped by the original character.
Right. So the piece
So
of
basically,
armor...
for example, if we wanted to glitch the Barbarian Sword, what is important is that the character originally glitching was able to equip the Steel Gloves, which turned into the Barbarian Sword, which in our case is the Warrior.
Yep. So And of course, they have to be next to each other in the order because you need to be able to hit LRR to get to them directly. But you can swap characters around in the menu as well. Needless to say, yes, your mages will be able to equip swords, and in fact, in the speedrun, one of them eventually does.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
There was Vampire. Nothing to say.
Goodbye. Hello, goodbye.
Friendly
Wonderful.
match. Just
You
here,
jam
look
it.
at our sword. And like, we probably don't even need to hit it. Just looks at our sword and it's like, yeah, I'm out of here.
So Vampire surrenders without giving us a fight at all, other than paralyzing the white mage, which no one cared about. And we're moving on with our lives. Nikki did not go for the 15 puzzle emergency exit, which is a thing that you can do, which allows you to cast the exit spell once, which you normally would use here. We didn't do that. It's okay.
I still don't agree with it on PSP anyway. Like, if you're lucky, you only need like a minute to go out of here anyways. So even if you get the drop, it just saves no time.
And of course, in GBA, of course, you absolutely want one because, oh god, getting out of here in GBA is not fun.
We're not talking about a minute there. We're talking about 2.5 to 5. Usually. The variance of just getting out of this cave. But yes, you can see, like, if you're lucky, you just didn't really get encounters. If you're unlucky, of course, you get one every 5 steps. But yeah. You didn't need to prove that we can get an encounter after 5 steps now again. It was not a challenge.
It heard you and was like, oh yeah, would you like me to demonstrate? I can.
Yeah, I mean, we all know video games sometimes have their own consciousness. They listen. They know exactly what you're doing. There's a reason I like jinxing my runs. It just makes more fun.
Yep. So in terms of one thing that is random in the game in general, of course, is hit point growth. The growth of health on your characters is random. They can get low rolls or high rolls on stats. Every other stat is either 0 or 1. And some classes get guaranteed rolls in a stat. Like, for example, the fighter, I believe, gets, in some versions, gets guaranteed health. But the idea is that you have a 25% chance of getting a good stat gain every level otherwise. Your black mage has 120 health, which is more than I can say for pretty much every red mage in the PSP speedrun I've ever seen, or in the GBA speedrun that I've ever seen.
That's not true, but yeah, it is not bad. It's pretty okay. Considering that we are still level... Have we reached level 9 now, or are we still level 8? Might be level 9 thanks to Vampire.
Yeah, Vampire I think gets you 9 pretty much 100% of the time.
I usually don't look too close because level 8 is the only thing that matters until we grind a very short time later on. Yeah, here, fetch questing, here we deliver our Star Ruby, said Vampire, so nicely left behind for us. Which is the only reason we needed to go into the dungeon. Well, into halfway into the dungeon in the first place. But yeah, this is also a place you can cheese well on the randomizer, right? Like get an airship and just land here and ignore the golem forever?
Like, one of the biggest things that the randomizer interested in have added is the possibility of a key item at the treasure trove, and actually slid... In the NES version, there's no block to the rear of the cave normally. So if you have an airship, you can fly in and loot the back 4 boxes, but the randomizer actually slides the Titan back. If you've been keeping track of the story at home, Sard is here and he tells you, hey, you killed Vampire? That's super cool. The Earth is still rotting because the Vampire was not the actual problem. He was just kind of big chillin' and being a meatyhead. But wasn't the actual problem.
Unbelievable. Poor Vampire. Tried his best, and so...
His best was not very good.
I mean, it wasn't. But if you dive deep enough, you can meet Vampire again. in the bonus dungeons. In the cemetery, where you also fight it at the time.
Vampire also shows up later in the game as well as a regular enemy in groups of, I believe, 2 to 5.
Right. I completely
Mirage
forgot
Tower.
about those. But that's not a single one. That's not bossy enough.
Yeah, no, that they hang out together because they understand that you can only stab one of them at a time with your sword.
Also, there are vampire lords around. However that works.
They go riding into combat on zombie dragons, they rule.
True. Cat. I don't have anything to add, it's just true. Also, how is our white mage the highest HP character? I love it when the white mage just outpaces the warrior.
That's really
in
funny.
HP. It happens every once in a while, but it's always great to see.
Yeah, it's because I believe the white mage has a slightly higher base vitality than the warrior, if I remember correctly, and that actually factors into the amount of health you get every level. So if the white mage continues to high roll every level, the white mage stays slightly ahead of the knight for a while.
Look at that. Good old ambush. But yeah, just
two-
4.
Just 4, only 1 paralysis, but of course 2 of them attack the black mage because they know what's up. They know whose the problem is.
Yeah. Yeah. And here's why we saved. Here's
Here's
exactly
cost
why we
choices.
saved and why we, yeah, no. And why we bought gold needles earlier. Also,
They
now
have-
our experience is screwed up. Nice.
Yep, white mage didn't get 10 there, which is a nuisance. We'll fix it in post. Basically, we're going to do a slightly more grinding. I think 1 more fight, probably. We would not mind if the warrior or thief get petrified at this point. It's a little annoying, but not the end of the world. Losing one of your mages is a bit of a pain.
So yeah, we'll have to grind the white mage and the black mage later on. So it's just easier, like, if they get experience together because, well, it's just easier to see who got a level when, and yeah, if those need
Yeah,
19
not as much
anyways.
keeping track of it in your brain.
Yeah, it's like if you see that someone leveled up, then you know that both leveled up. Like, you can see these level up messages are really fast.
They are. It's like, wow.
It's like, you don't want to try keeping up with them. You really
Yeah.
don't.
Yeah, you don't have to really mash through them in PSP. In GBA, there's a little bit of mashing that can be done, but it's not really worth it overall. Maybe saves you a couple seconds over the course of an entire run.
Well,
But
yeah, Sokka always just hold down the button. But it's also been a while since I have run GBA.
one of the interesting things that we'll also notice here is Nikki is not trying to run from Pisco Demons. There's a reason for that. You can't. They're unrunnable. One of the things that you do have to kind of memorize or know or have a list for is these are the encounters that I must fight because I cannot run from them. GBA will oftentimes save scum through them by just saving and resetting, because saving and resetting is a fairly fast process, about 6 or 7 seconds. GBA saving and resetting is very slow. Very, very slow. Oh god. But also, the other idea here is that, we're powerful enough in general because of all of our extra armor and weapons that we can fight those unrunnable encounters, and it's fine.
Yeah. So we almost there for 5. So sometimes you just don't get encounters in Earth Cave. Like, a good Earth Cave to Lich can, like, make a huge difference of over a minute. This was definitely not one. Yo, ogre jellies. Nice. 3 and 64 on this floor. You love it. Also, we just desperately want to save because we are coming up to a big jerk.
The biggest jerk of them all. Chaos. Wait, no, wrong. Shoot. Lich.
Which, in theory, this game only has one final boss. But in almost every version, there's like the final boss, and then there is the mid-game boss. And the mid-game boss is Lich. And Lich is just, after Lich, everything is nice, but Lich is rude. Lich is just absolutely rude. Alright, 600 is bad. 600 crit is nice. good. So yeah, Lich has an amount of spells, and the first spell he has is Blizzara. And the problem is just that we might have a lot of armor and all that, but no armor helps us with magic resistance.
At least
So
not until later in the game.
Yes, there is one item.
One. Exactly one.
So yeah, Blizzara deals like 140 damage. And the problem was we also want to kill off the warrior and thief soonish. Which obviously with all the armor that we have is not that easy. So we just hope to kill Lich in time. Obviously it also doesn't need to use Blizzara, but you all know how it is.
I believe Lich has a 75% chance of casting a spell every turn. So
My favorite story was like the only runs Lich has killed was the two which were on 30-minute pace on Lich.
Oh God, I'm so
like my
sorry.
best 2 paces.
Yeah, if you get to Lich in under like 27 minutes, he's guaranteed to cast Blizzara. Apparently, who knew?
But yeah. In general, yeah, around 1,000, has 1,200 HP. You hope to have a bit more with the Thieves than the Warrior, but the Warrior crit, so that made up for the Thieves low roll.
Yeah, the Thief can hit for around 800 on that fight. If the Thief hits 800, you have nothing to worry about, generally speaking, unless your Warrior just gets outsped. The extra 15 agility kind of really minimizes the chance of Lich getting a turn in the first place. Unless you get double low rolled or something, which is a pain.
Yeah. Just Lich things.
Yep, but we like the Orb of Earth, and the Earth is doing better. Melmond is still a mess, though. They don't repair it for, like, years. But we sail across the ocean here to the pretty part of the world.
And now everything opens up, more or less, which is nice. We could have gone to this place earlier, but the key item is actually locked behind defeating Lich, so... Yeah.
Yep.
No reason to... Nice, more ambushes.
You hate to see it.
I might not want to heal my... no. We're on Marathon Run. It's okay if I at least unpoison my warrior.
Yeah.
Antidote... Okay, so we don't need to buy a Mithril Sword because ironically we already have that.
Still need to buy an axe, though.
We still need to buy an axe. And gloves.
And gloves.
Alright, Crescent Lakes. So yeah. Buying some more equipment, because our equipment is not powerful enough yet, obviously.
Yeah, 5 agility is bad. We don't want to be at 5 agility. Have we considered getting 10 agility per spot?
Oh, now I know what I might do. Wait. It's... There is only one character that can get us Black Garbs, and that is...
The Knight.
The Knight,
Knight is the only character who can equip that axe until... if you class promote to Ninja, Ninjas can equip axes. Don't ask. But we're also gonna use the gloves to make plus daggers. Speaking of super secret gear that comes from Cronodia, the ultimate final boss of this, there are 7 forms. I believe form 5 or 6 has the possibility to give you the best melee weapon for mages in the game.
The last dagger is definitely also one of them, yeah. A mere 20 agility. I mean, considering that everything else gives like 5 at most.
Yep, it also has a pretty absurd hit rate overall and does good damage, so, you know, it's gonna do everything we want.
I mean, won't complain.
It reduces your intelligence, so it does nerf your casting, but that's okay. We're feeling all right about that.
I mean, besides the fact that we can't equip the Sage's staff anymore.
Right.
Yeah, sure. We trade that. Also, we get the Black Garb, because, yeah, 5 agility is just a lot, and it's just an armor. So we just trade that for 10 agility per item.
So for some reason, putting a black t-shirt on over your black t-shirt on over your black
Yeah, also, now I remember, there was one thing that you might have noticed. We have not equipped anything onto the shield slot, because the shield slot is special. So in a way, the shield slot still is just an armor slot. You could equip any armor and glitch any armor the same way. Problem is just that, well, shields have an ability, and that is that they can block in fights. Which leads to a problem. What happens if you glitch an armor piece that does not have a block animation?
The game has no idea what to do.
The game will just literally stop working. It will just freeze, crash, bye-bye. So later on we will be equipping armor there. Also armor that you wouldn't expect, but that is fine because that armor actually has shield animations.
Which is unbelievable to me. But hey, you know, we're gonna go
block
with
with a ribbon?
Maybe in Monster Hunter.
I mean, sounds like the most martial arts thing I could ever imagine.
True.
Yeah, that is kind of the most Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
But parrying a sword by wrapping a ribbon around it and pulling it out of your enemy's hand. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, yeah, no, never mind. Never
All
mind.
good with me.
Hong Kong cinema rules.
Yes.
I mean, I guess it works. How did we not run away? This encounter is an easy run away. So yeah, petrification. If people have so petrification in versions that are not Pixar remaster work in the way that characters are basically just dead and non-existent. So considering we want to kill off the warrior anyways, might as well.
Might as well leave the warriors a brick for a little while.
Yeah. But yeah, welcome to Ice Cave. The most dangerous... Oh, come on, game.
Oh god, no.
No. Yeah, the most dangerous part because no matter how OP you are, like, these encounters exist. And as you can see, they have an AoE stun attack and physical attacks with on-hit death proc.
And they hit 3 times, so they get 3 rolls to attempt to instantly kill you. This sucks. Wait, you gotta turn.
We go for kill, right? We go for kill.
Oh yeah, no, flare those guys. Get them out of here.
Running from mind flayers is usually not difficult, but
good news, Thief's dead.
We can just start grinding now, right? We don't need evil eyes. If we
just kill everything on the way, I guess.
It is a solid strat that I sometimes did.
Stab this guy. Stab him in his tentacly face, I guess. Yeah. It's very funny. Chat also bringing up D&D as a thing, and it is important to remember that Final Fantasy 1, and I say this a couple times during every single Final Fantasy speedrun that I commentate, is really just a glorified D&D campaign. It takes a lot from Dungeons and Dragons because that was the thing in like the early and mid 80s that you drew from. So that's kind of why things end up working out the way they do.
I don't know when I have last killed so many mind flayers in a PSP run. Or in any run.
I don't remember when I last killed mind flayers in a run period.
Oh, me too, but whatever.
Yep. So now we are choosing to inflict violence upon everything for experience gain, which is always handy.
Yeah, so the only bad thing about the strat is if you actually like use a timer and want to compare, yeah, your split is just ruined. But yeah, welcome to the best grind spot in the game.
And we're stabbing.
We stabbing. Like, you can see, Evil Eye only has 1 eye. We've all learned what the problem is if you only have 1 eye.
If you get attacked once, you have 0 eyes?
Yeah, you don't have a backup. And yeah, usually would now go at Evil Eye and try to like kill our warrior and see, but...
Yeah, Evil Eye's first action can be Thundara as its spell effect. So it can just basically you set it up that your fighter and thief are under like 75 hit points so that they'll die once hit with it, and then your white mage and black mage can do the thing they do best, which is, get a lot of experience. Was it 16 in this version?
No, it is now 17 plus
Yeah.
1, which I
Okay.
actually did in the old route as well, but yeah, we need 19 comparatively slightly later because we are
right.
doing Sunken Shrine instead of Gold. But at the same time, we are also healing everyone up already.
Yep. That's new, because that is part of the route that we're doing. So, we got a floater stone, which is going to give us access to an airship. And in the original route of Final Fantasy 1 PSP, we were going to take that airship, and we are going to fly directly to the Citadel of Trials, where we are going to go and class promote into our upgraded class versions so that we can also get our hands on a healing staff, if I remember correctly, because that maps to Lordly Robes.
Nope,
Which-
we're skipping all that.
Oh, wait, we're not doing that?
We ain't doing that.
But that's important. We need Lordly Robes for the white mage so that the
We
white
get
mage can
20.
heal enough.
We get 20 intelligence for nope. Nope. Why did
God,
you
I
think
do-
we would do
Jeez.
save strats?
That's silly.
Save strats in our speedrun. No,
when we
no.
can save like 2 minutes by not doing them.
Final Fantasy 1 has to be horribly unsafe in every version of the run.
The
and
great
now
thing about Final Fantasy 1, you can always get more stuff.
you can always make it less safe. It makes it sound like makes you sound like you've speedrun GBA every a couple of times. I don't know. She was the former world record holder for GBA for like 3 years.
Oh yeah, when I got world record in GBA, I had like 20 milliseconds of the second. It stood for a long time.
It was until basically a couple of Japanese speedrunners really tore the game apart.
No,
and
actually,
had it.
Toku was the first.
Toku was the first.
Also grinded
Yeah.
a lot, and then another Japanese runner came who pulled
Really?
even on a few minutes on top of that. But
Yeah.
it's 15 puzzles just not good for your hands, and having to do that repeatedly.
Oh, 15. Yeah, 15 puzzle is terrifying. It's the thing that stopped me from learning Monk Route in FF1 GBA. I am bad at the 15 puzzle. I know the 15 puzzle and I know the algorithms. I just can't get it out of my hands fast enough.
I would love to suplex the trains. Train exists in this game, but we don't have a monk. So
No suplex.
I'm afraid there is no suplexing in this version. The monk also can't suplex, but we could believe that it would be the case.
Also, we talk a lot about doing the skip of Citadel of Trials as a big thing that is unsafe and adds a lot of not safety to the run. Don't worry, there will be safety saves.
Yeah, I mean, as per usual. And yeah, now Serena has just completely overtaken Bannon, but Serena also has like double the amount of levels. Almost.
It's like cheating.
Yeah, I know. Second, was it 17 to 10? And still, 100 HP for 7 levels.
I mean, your warrior's expectation is would be to get about 150 in that time frame. So
Yeah,
Still.
you always get an encounter here basically because you've accumulated a lot of steps in the sea.
yeah.
When you get onto this very, very great grass tile, it's like, yeah.
And we walk into the desert because if you talk to all the sages, they'll tell you that there's something weird buried in the desert that they're not quite sure what it is, but they're pretty sure it's awesome. It is, again, it's an airship, the greatest conveyance in the world.
Yep. We all love airships. The only
sure
thing we're
do.
missing is Sid.
Yeah, there's no Sid in this.
Yeah. We need it until FF2 for Sid.
Mm-hmm.
Unbelievable.
Then we had to wait till Final Fantasy IV to actually like Sid. Maybe not, but you know.
It was okay. But I mean, yeah. He wasn't like anything that special, I guess. Yet. Where am I running, by the way? Goodness.
Yeah, why not just stab this thing?
Yeah, but
Why can't...
I'm not supposed to be here.
Wait, we're not supposed to be here? Oh, no.
No, I need to get the ferry.
Right, we gotta go spend some money. Can't do anything here yet.
Who can I blame for this? I'm not even sure. I was like down right, and for some reason my brain was like down right. All right, I know
Like,
this way. This
my
way is
brain was
always
like-
to Sunken Shrine.
The problem was not that I forgot that you didn't come here to the caravan to get the ferry. It's that my mind was on, wait, why aren't you going to Waterfall first?
Yeah, that's
Nothing.
like GBA route or Pixel Remaster route, because you want to first get more money.
Yep. In this version, we don't need that money. We've got 1 billion gil, apparently, or we can basically create money out of thin air if we really wanted to.
Yeah, I mean, actually we don't, but we also just don't need to buy anything. Like, we don't buy much to heal because, well, physical attacks just don't deal damage to us.
Yep. And not a lot of things in this game do have magical effects on hand, so it's actually not that much of a concern, honestly. Most regular enemies are very happy just trying to punch you as hard as possible.
Yeah.
I mean, we're doing the same thing back, so it's all fair.
Or we're not punching, we're slicing.
Okay,
We
fair.
left the
You know
monk at
what?
home. The
Slicing
monk
as
was
hard
a
as we can.
glitchless run.
Fair enough.
Because the monk is good if you don't give them equipment, but in this run we have like all the equipment that we could ever want, so...
Yeah, so everyone outpaces the monk because the monk needs a ton of levels to be useful on that front, and Barbarian Sword covers all of our problems.
You don't need levels if you buff, but buffing takes turns, and the Barbarian slot doesn't care. It's just too OP. Okay, now we go where I already wanted to go.
Alright, back to it.
Now that I finally can breathe underwater... But yeah, welcome to Unrank, the place that has all the good stuff.
And by all the good stuff, we mean lobsters.
Lobsters. Okay.
Look at that
They're not-
NPC.
Yeah.
That was surely an animation that just happened.
And now it is time for the menu, the worst menu, because it defaults to no, that you don't want to get in the barrel and go underwater.
And
You're
this is
afraid.
the only version of Final Fantasy 1 that defaults to no here.
So
That
sometimes
is
you
the
have to
worst
open that menu
part.
twice.
If you run other versions of Final Fantasy 1, you're like, default to yes, easy. And it's like, oh, come on.
Right, I get to be very sad that they're not named lobsters in any version other than the NES version, but they're lobsters. They're lobsters in our hearts. Team Lobster will live on forever.
I say sea scorpions, right?
No, they're lobsters.
They're lobsters.
They're lobsters.
Definitely lobsters.
100%. There's a bunch of things that are unrunnable in Sea Shrine also, which will all get dealt with by our Black Mage.
Yeah.
We didn't even, like, this route also doesn't go back to, normally the safer routes go back to Elfland to buy spells after Ice Cave, so you'll have Blizzara at this point. We don't have that.
Yeah, so the point with Blizzara is also kind of special. Okay, here's the Rosetta Zone, which helps us to just immediately learn languages, because that's just how it works, but more about that later. Because Blizzara is a damage roll on the enemies here that you would want to use it. But fortunately also, the water elementals that we're talking about usually are in packs of 1 or 2, so we'll just slice them. Because our swords don't know opponents.
Yep. But yeah, Ghosts unrunnable, but they're super vulnerable to fire, so we are gonna set them on fire. There are the Sahagin packs, which are Wizard Sahagins and Greater Sahagins. I forget their exact names, but they're the tier 2 and 3 enemies, and they are
Prince and Elite, I believe.
they are super weak to lightning, so you just blast them with lightning bolts and they die. Everything else, water elementals are normally weak to ice magic, but we're just going to fight them instead, not getting Blizzara. And of course, everything else is runnable, and we're not interested in fighting pretty much anything. The GBA version is interested in fighting the Big Eye Gray Shark pack if it does show up, because the GBA version needs the experience points. We don't.
Yeah, it all depends on what you have and what you... The GBA version is interested in not getting encounters. Let's just leave it at that. Because it's actually faster to reset than to actually fight them. We have turned the GBA version into a very, very...
save and reset heavy run.
brutal run. Don't get me wrong, Final Fantasy 1 runs are amazing. They just, as I said, you can always cut out more. So at some point when you're grinding for world record, you know that you are in for a big RNG grind in which many things can go wrong.
Also kind of the fun of it though, right, is being able to adapt, and you know, it's not the same every time. It's always going to be interesting.
Yeah, that's like one of the reasons, or one of the things that I personally also always look in for speedruns, which is difficult obviously, because usually you have like your given strat, and I mean not that much will change. Mm-hmm. But having a variety of strats and having the ability to adapt is something I really enjoy.
Yeah, absolutely.
So here's the Saga and Prince Saga and Chief pack, which we cannot run from either. So they just get wiped out by some lightning magic.
Also, we don't forget to Isa for once.
Yay!
Yay!
The Sagan pack is also worth an abysmal amount of experience. But we're gonna come over here and we run to the right side of this box to get this light axe, because otherwise what ends up happening is that the other two tiles have encounters on them, the front one and the left one, so we run all the way over to the right one. Right, but we're gonna make a pile of survival vests here.
Yeah, come on. Glitching to the left is just way more difficult.
It's just the worst. So we have a survival vest in the shield slot. Is that going to be okay?
Yes.
There's 3 pieces of equipment that normally will get put in that shield slot in the speed run. It's survival vest, ribbon, and lordly robes that we cannot make. So.
Also, look at how I took the chest from the right side. The other 2 sides have spike tiles, encounter tiles, which will force us into stuff that we just don't want to encounter.
Yeah, fighting stuff is garbage. We're not here for that.
I mean, not that we'd actually fight anything.
Wait, there's a ribbon. There's a ribbon in that other room you're leaving behind. Why aren't you going and getting it? We need those.
Yeah, we'll just get one later.
We need those to destroy all the swords we have to fight later. We need to amass a bundle of ribbon.
Don't worry. We're gonna do some magician tricks and pull ribbons out of hats.
Ooh, I'm excited.
Or I guess more so we're gonna pull ribbons out of axes. But you know,
close enough.
Basically the same thing.
The same spirit. Yeah.
It's magic.
Exactly. It is.
Who doesn't like that? Who doesn't like some nice magic tricks?
Yeah, in glitchless runs, that is one of the 3 ribbon spots. Ribbons are super important because they give us resistance to all elements, even though they only have 1 armor. Resistance to all elements is so much better than, like, I'm even giving it credit for.
Yeah. Also, survival vest, not to underestimate. So we have 5 agility, 10 agility. 10 is still not enough for us. We just take 15.
And we put 4 of them because we put them like we just put 4 vests on.
Yeah, casual 60 plus agility. It's
and
just
also
pretty massive.
Also, Kraken only hits you for 57, which is kind of unbelievable because Kraken is a really heavy hitter normally.
Yeah, but we have 4 armor pieces, like 4 body armor pieces equipped, all over our body.
Just gonna wear a ton of armor.
And yeah, like body armor usually just has the by far highest defense. And usually also stats, but...
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's crystal number 2, Kraken. We've made nice sushi. Taco. Ultra's sitting in the tower, waiting, and happy
Chilling.
that we won't turn him into taco as well.
We do not need the second serving of takoyaki this run. We're just gonna head on out and move on with everything.
Yep, and we have another. So there's just all the good stuff. So yeah, now that we have done the first one, we'll in Sunken Shrine. We'll also just take Waterfall Cave, cause it's here.
It's here, and of course, again, if we were talking to NPCs, we'd find out that there's a star that fell to Earth, and landed in the waterfall. Your spiralisks, they're annoying.
I was just wondering if I should have killed them, considering I don't have any resistance against them.
Yeah, I don't know. It's an interesting call. With a ton of agility, it's generally all right, but
yeah, they're usually not difficult. But so they have a gaze attack that can instantly kill you, and you can't defend yourself from that. That's actually one of the death effects that even protect rings protect you from. If you play glitchless. But yeah, we've kind of delayed our rhythms, so we don't have rhythms yet.
Yep. And these are nightmares. These are actually the hardest one of, if not, they're up there. They might be the hardest enemy in the game to run from.
Hardest definitely air elementals, I would say.
Yeah, I was thinking about air elementals too when I said that. But
they're pretty high up there, especially like if you don't have glitch stats for the part of the game you are at.
Yep.
It's horrible.
And you normally in other versions you don't want to fight air elementals either because they're big piles of hit points and no real weaknesses to exploit. So.
Yeah. Unlike these die to a single Black Mage Blizzard, even in GPA.
Which we don't have.
Well, we would have Slayer, I mean, if we desperately wanted to, but...
Yeah, it's fine. We'll just run.
Like, we have given our Thief 60 plus agility. We have given our Black Mage 80 plus... No, not 80.
65.
Also 60.
It's a lot. The number go up.
Oh, just harder than that.
Yeah, that is a required encounter tile, which we're gonna hit twice because we do have to get one of the boxes out of this room. Just blowing them up as fast as we're gonna grab a ribbon from this chest.
Wait, you helm to
weapon.
Helm to shield. Re-equip. Shield. To armor. Re-equip. Thief. Helm to shield.
Right. So essentially what we've done with this glitch is we've turned the ribbon, we've done the glitch in both directions. Right? We glitch a ribbon, we get the ribbon from this box, which is here, which we knew was here. That's why we didn't have to get the one in C Shrine and go out of our way. And turned it into a Gigantax. So we used the glitch to map on the map of items, of weapons and armor. We map from armor ribbon to weapon Gigantax. Which
have you ever seen that single King Mummy there?
No, I have not. That's just odd. Why are you getting these weird encounters? We're gonna get a green dragon on the way out, aren't we?
Oh, sure. We'll take this.
Sure.
1 in 64 every time.
Right. But yeah, but essentially with the glitch, what we did, we took the ribbon, we glitched it into a Gigantax so that we could create more ribbons, created 3 ribbons, and put them on the fighter, the thief, and the white mage.
Yeah, also to note, if you glitch from armor slot to armor slot, as we've done for the second time now, it will not generate a new one. You will need to have created that beforehand.
Yep, so we have to create them and then glitch them in because they're going to armor slot.
Yeah, and we didn't want to just trade it back and forth, the white mage and the black mage, just for that.
Yep, it's slow. In the old safe version where you do class promotion, part of what you end up doing there is that for the white mage, you glitch the ribbon into the chest slot instead. And you can use the Gigantax on the thief, so you just change the weapon around to finish the glitch instead of doing it normally. You glitch it onto the thief, use the thief to put it on the white mage, and then put it on the fighter, and then ninja at that point.
All right, it's time for the race. Maybe, let's see. It is time to learn a language for faster than anyone has ever learned a language. I have heard that there's also a lot of more lore behind Lufenians. Oh my. Can you see the NPC? Oh no. Oh, come on.
Oh no, come on. Walk away.
Oh,
all right,
it's
come on.
looking good, looking good.
No, looking bad. Come on. All right, good.
Yeah.
Come on, go left.
All right, it's
right's okay.
Up.
That's fine. All right.
No!
Sad.
That NPC is... it's a fun ride. I don't know how I never like on other versions, but like ever since this week, I've like noticed it's like it's not always the case, but he just likes going around. I mean, like, hey, I might not.
That's right. I still have a clip. I forget. I think it was on the RPG Valkyrie's channel of the worst NPC block I've ever gotten in Final Fantasy 1. This was when I was running GBA, running hybrid monk route, so no 15 puzzles, so it was like monk fighter, white mage, red mage. And on the way out of Lufine, getting double blocked. There were two elves right next to each other on the bridge, and both of them were blocking me.
Know that feel. All right, time for Mount Gork.
Yep, White Mage knows Healara now, which is super useful because it is a AoE healing spell. It is the one spell we'll be getting on the White Mage all run.
Game trolling, as per usual. So yeah, important to note what we haven't talked about yet. So on these tiles, we had them in Ice Cave with the ice spikes, and here's the fire tiles. Oh, come on. The tiles
really?
where you take 1 damage. Also, here's a shield animation of both Ribbon and Survival Vest. Tiles where you take 1 damage, actually, you can't get encounter on. They also, in this version, don't, like, increase your danger value or anything at all. So you just try to step onto as many lava tiles as possible.
Yep, a perfect volcano, perfect luck in the RNG in this version is 1 encounter. You are always assured to get 1 encounter on floor 4 because of the 32-step rule, but otherwise...
Well, I mean, 32 doesn't mean you have to get an encounter. It just means that the chance is very high.
Yeah. Okay, I mean, theoretically it could be 0. 1 is what really is realistically perfect.
Yeah. I usually don't get less than 4, of course. Why would we?
Why? Right, gonna patch up the party here. Right, we're gonna find the Fiend of Fire down here. Originally named Carrie, of course, is Marilith. Again, D&D campaign couldn't use Marilith in the original NES version.
Yeah, cause 4 letters max, right?
Well, for a boss enemy.
And NES still had a lot of like length restrictions.
Like also other things, yeah. Part of it was the length restriction. Part of it was just, again, renaming that they did for copyright safety. The thief doing work there, hitting for like 1,200. Good job.
Yeah, I would wish for Biggs to get some more max HP. We'll see. I mean, at least... Oh, Warrior and our White Mage are looking good. So...
Yeah.
That's
super
nice.
great, in fact.
We should be able to survive Flare, no problem.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
Yeah, pretty confident. That reminds me, I really don't need to save before Lich, but I should be saving at the beginning of Chaos Shrine just because...
There's a couple of trolley fights in there. Frost Dragons have an AoE.
There might be some ambushes that you really don't want to see.
Yep, Frost Dragons, or Green Dragons. They're Gas Dragons in the original, but they're Green Dragons otherwise. Both have gigantic AoE effects that do a lot of damage. The only nice thing about green dragons is that since they are an unrunnable encounter, they also do not have the ability to ambush you.
Yeah. Alright, so third crystal done. Now to go to the final one. That also needs by far the most prep.
Yeah.
Which is the lovely, lovely tinahacks.
I mean, we had to go and learn an entire language that we could talk to the Lufenians down here, of which I'm sure that there's a lot more lore about them somewhere in a different video game that was created in, say, the year 2022.
Yeah, it wants you to kill chaos. I've heard rumors, but I have not even played the game yet. But they're apparently playing a pretty big role in that.
Oh, that
I did
roll.
not know this was a damage roll.
I didn't either.
Disappointed. Look at that. Next time we'd use Fire because Fire has a shot. Ironically, a shot animation than Fire anyways. For
Does
like,
it really?
I think by like 2 or 3 frames or something, but yes. I'm not sure if it is pinned in the Discord anymore, but there was a big list, and Firaga is actually faster than Fyra. Just not even enough to, like, in theory... Okay, nice. So yeah, I usually push that NPC down because we still need to go back. And... yeah, just making sure that the odds are better, but we can just go here again.
Yeah, because that bottom,
Wow.
wow. You tried to go for the
Alright.
short exit. You tried to go for the short exit, and then it was just like, nah, you're gonna get body blocked.
Yeah.
No, don't do this to me.
We just taken the way we came from. But yeah. Let's just murder Steffos Faraga. I have no problems with that.
Yep. Oh yeah, I didn't realize that your fighter's at 300 and your fight mate's already at 350. Surviving
Oh yeah,
which
no,
two?
300 is not enough for Slayer yet.
Yeah, we
For
need to
some
be
reason I
above.
thought I saw 400.
Oh yeah, we need to be above like 330-ish. Like.
Yeah, I would want to be above 350 at least to be safe, especially because like you might have to tank another physical or something, which I mean shouldn't deal much damage, but
320 has at least a chance of survival that is not like microscopic. 350 is super safe. But yeah.
yeah, so now that we have successfully dodged the Tyrannosaur again, sad. I would actually kill it just for the XP.
It is worth an absolute pile of experience.
It's pretty big, yeah. Time for Mirage Tower. Oh,
Look,
also yeah,
vampires.
vampires. Look,
We're not fighting. We're not fighting them. They're not worth our time anymore.
they're not evil anymore.
Here's hellhounds. Don't care about them either. They're also not worth our time.
No, in other areas they might not allow us to run away, but not here. Which is also something to keep in mind. In the desert where we bought the ferry earlier, their single hellhounds are unrunnable, else it would be Ogre Mage plus hellhound.
There's chimeras, annoying if you don't get the run because they know Blaze and they will AoE you a bunch, which is a nuisance.
Which will basically not deal any damage to us at this point anymore, but it still takes...
But
Well, here you can see how long it takes.
here,
and how
enjoy
it-
some. It's really pretty. It's a really nice animation for the PSP era, but
Yeah. That's actually decent damage still. For what it is. I'm not scared. But... it doesn't mean that I shouldn't heal because the Black Mage might die. For another assault
Yeah.
of those. Yeah. Well, I mean, the best place to grind is Chaos Shrine anyway. By a long shot. So even if we would like to have some more HP on Biggs and Bannon. Yeah. Here's a blue dragon, just a spike tile. So you can fight as often as you want here.
yep. Which is to say, since we're in a speedrun, we're gonna fight it once.
Yeah, but our sword is shiny. I mean, unless we encountered more in the dungeon.
Well, yeah.
Our shiny sword still is pretty powerful. And blocks, apparently. As a ribbon. I'm not sure how that... Lower, please! But yeah, talking about ribbons, this is the floor with the last ribbon. On the the third ribbon on the right, and the adamantite for the Excalibur on the lower left. Fourth ribbon is at Ruby in the bonus dungeon.
Yep.
Also, this floor is evil because in every other versions you spawn below the spot, so you just run left. But if you run left here, then you just go back to the other floor. It's like
that was the hard thing about learning the PSP speedrun in particular is just the weird spawn spots. Because in NES you spawn right on top of the stairwell, for example.
There are just some small things which, like, you know the other versions and it will just tell you, yeah.
Yep. So this is the endless floor. It wraps in on itself. It's just two horizontal and two vertical. Nikki does left and up. I believe I do right and up.
As long as you do up, it doesn't matter.
Yep.
All right.
Up saves you a step.
War make hype.
Let's do this. One robot, please.
One robot would be amazing.
Warmech is runnable, but we wouldn't.
I'm not even sure if we could kill, but we wouldn't. That was the reason why I was saving, but yeah. I have gotten Warmake either after like 80 minutes of grinding, or once first try, which was a full bestiary run, ironically.
It's when you needed Warmech to show up the most.
When you needed Warmech to show up the most. When you still stood in the floor for like 10 minutes just to find Spirit Nagas and all that stuff.
Yeah. Alright, well, we absolutely devastate T-Mod here.
Supposedly Warmech is a 1 in 64. I refuse to believe it.
Supposedly.
Supposedly. 1 in 255 would probably even be closer to what I would guess. Just from what I've seen. Then again, there should have been people that have, well, looked at least in the NES code. But NES is step route, that doesn't count.
Yep. NES is manipulable.
It is rare. And it is really, really terrifyingly brutal. You deals a ton of damage.
Yeah, it has a big non-elemental attack that's not resisted by ribbons. It's kind of great. Warmech is actually super, super dangerous.
That means that would actually kill us, probably, if it uses that attack.
Yep.
But sadly, no Warmech. We got robbed. Okay. Only one dungeon left.
So our 4 crystals are lit. We did it.
Yeah, we're back where everything began. We're here to kill chaos.
Yay!
Here we go. What we've all been waiting for.
But first, we've got to see this cutscene that is PSP only, where he opens up the he opens up the final extra dungeon.
So Labyrinth of Time, as we have earlier.
I had to research because none of us remembered. Don't worry, we're not going there.
We are pros, I promise. Just not with the Labyrinth of Time. Alright, time for a floaty shiny orb, thanks to our crystals.
Yep, and it disappears and opens up a portal to the past.
Yeah. And now we are on the way to kill chaos, but before that... there's not really a reason to heal, but... there's a reason to save. Frost Dragon Ambush does not sound like something I would particularly be happy about.
Yep.
Flee, Sandara. So yeah, white dragons, or ice dragons, ironically not weak to fire, but to lightning.
Weird.
Fun facts about Final Fantasy 1. Why? Ask the programmers.
Because they're dragons?
Also, yeah, you are not gonna die to Blizzara. I'm Sorry.
These have a pile of
Lazara
hit
is not
points.
strong enough.
Yeah, these have around 400 hit points, so we're just gonna wipe them out real quick. They're also worth an absolute ton of experience, though. So if there were hit point concerns, we're going to alleviate them pretty quickly as our fighter gets up to like 340.
See, why would you ever grind experience somewhere else when you can get these encounters?
When you just yeah.
And you are able to kill them quickly. If you wouldn't be able to kill them quickly, it wouldn't help. But
Yep.
yeah.
Here's Death Eye, also known as Phantom in the original NES version. You hit it with your sword and it dies, and it gives you 1 gold and 1 experience.
It is also weak to fire, so oh. Good thing that wasn't an ambush.
Yep, it's weak to fire and undead, which is a thing that we take advantage of in other routes, GBA in particular.
Every other route just blasts its away with fire, I guess.
Yep.
At this point. Because
yeah.
Black Mages are a great glass cannon. See, we've never talked about the jobs, right? So, like,
No,
really?
Not really, because like they get really blurry in PSP in particular because, you know, everyone's equipped with some really good equipment that they normally can't equip, so.
Yeah. But in theory, like, we have really nice and balanced classes in the later version. So we have the Warrior, upgraded as Knight, who is basically the tank, can equip lots of armor and weapons. And just really high HP growth, and you really wouldn't want to go without one. It just makes everything more difficult. Then you have the Thief. The Thief is, well, equips a lot less, but has higher agility, which as a Thief is not that great. But the classic Great Ninja can also, like, get temper and equip all the good stuff. So late game, really powerful.
Yeah, also just really good at swinging a couple of very specific weapons, including the katana, which is ninja specific, which is always great. Then you've got the monk, who can upgrade into the master, whose big thing is that they scale with levels and can equip nearly nothing.
They equip nothing, but they also really don't need anything, and their job upgrade is useless, but without, they're already really powerful.
Yeah, they get multipliers just from having levels. Their damage output increases by level. Their crit rate increases based on level. They do the damage in the super late game, but otherwise they're a little bit more balanced in this version in that they're less bad in the early game. So there is that at least.
Yeah, and then we have the 3 mage classes. So first we have the White Mage.
We love
definitely
them.
lacking in damage, but lots of good heals. That you can't complain. I mean, it also has Holy as level 8 spell, but that's pretty late.
Yeah, generally good for a lot of support magic. Mostly only used in this run because of glitches and Healara, because we kind of need Healara even now.
Yeah, Chaos has 20,000 HP, so killing Chaos without Healara is just, it's tough.
Here's Lich. Lich's first spell, of course, is Flare, which does around 320-ish damage. We're gonna hit the fighter with haste just in case, Trendig, because the Black Mage should
can survive.
Yeah.
Simply. Yeah. That was nice.
Good one shot. Clean, no flare, easy game.
Yeah, so then we have the Black Mage. The Black Mage has insane intelligence, is a glass cannon. Doesn't tank anything, but deals huge amounts of damage with AoE spells.
Gets access to
Red Mage.
The Red Mage gets a carefully curated set of spells. Most important one in other routes is Temper, of course, the ability to buff your fighter and or monk and or thief, depending upon the route that you're on.
Yeah, mostly because it doesn't scale with intelligence. It just always does the same.
Yep. Also learns haste and does get a bunch of AoE spells, but they don't hit very hard because of intelligence scaling. So they're a little less exciting, but they're still pretty good.
It depends what you need. It's just, yeah. I mean, basically that.
They are excellent. They are excellent buffers. Like just using them for
They're
buffs.
just
The only problem
all around us. They can equip a lot of nice stuff early games. They can heal a bit. They can spell a bit, spellcast a bit. Their spells usually do like half of what the Black Mages deal. So.
Yep. You know, GBA takes advantage of that by equipping a sword to the Red Mage as the second physical fighter in the early game and things like that.
Yeah. Also, oh, hello there.
Hey, it's water elementals.
Yeah.
But yeah, the composition of the party is very specific. It starts out as fighter, thief, black mage, white mage, and then in Crescent Lake you switch the white and black mage for glitch purposes so that you can create certain pieces of equipment. That is specific to this route. It is required for glitching equipment onto characters and, you know, having the spells that you need to finish the run.
Yeah, you have like... The only one that in theory you don't need is a thief, but with the items you have, the thief is just... well, I mean, you also use the thief at this point, but he's also the strongest fighter at this point, because with a bit more agility, just 1 or 2 more hits in compared to the warrior. But yeah, as you have noticed, all the experience, we have to refight all the thieves again.
They've become more powerful, though.
That's what they say. At least in Pixel Remaster, I swear that Tiamat 2 is so much easier than Tiamat 1. That's actually amazing. Alright, here's our good friend Kraken. Dealing very heavy-hitting physical attacks. Well, if we wouldn't have, like, more armor, then... Fortunately, the game can calculate these defense numbers, because usually you would not be able to get those.
Infinite armor.
It's like, yeah, our best armor gives 50 and everything else gives like plus 5. And we're like, yeah, we're at 120. In theory, you want to, well, base the sea, but Venom is just so much tankier. It has more HP.
I really like the design of this boss. It's a cute design.
It is a really good design. Like
Yeah,
a lot
I'm a
of
fan.
a lot of the PSP pixel art is just really detailed. Really
It
good.
is. It's fantastic. I agree.
Yeah, it's a super great port. Okay.
But yeah, we're here. We finished off Tiamat. We've got a little bit of a walk to go. We go down these stairs after this encounter. Let us go. Please let us go. We're not interested in hanging out with you.
Alright, it is time. We're here to kill chaos, but first we need to... what do we do? Warrior, weapon to... You wanted a ribbon, I've heard. And a barbarian sword.
Yep. White mage needs...
What am I doing? This is the wrong two characters. Up and down, you know the problem. Or maybe not, but... Oh, there is my crystal mail now.
Wait, what does crystal mail do? Wait, where does that... This is new.
And Sage's staff.
Oh man, I did not know about this particular change in the route.
Well, I mean, as we have already talked about, we don't get Lordly Ropes, which gives us 20 intelligence. Or Golden Staffs, that gives us 20 intelligence. Instead, we get Crystal Mail, which gives us 3 intelligence. Because it's the best we can get.
Close enough. I guess that's from the
Well,
Mithril
and the
sword,
Sage's Staff, that gives us 15. But,
yeah, so we get 15 and 9 is 24. It's enough, we'll make it work.
And we bought high potions earlier.
Yep, we bought high potions. We also bought some other potions. When we bought the bottle with the bottle fairy, the caravan changes over to a second shop at that point in time, which lets us buy stat buff items. The important one, of course, is going to be Giant's Tonic, which is the one that we buy in this version. It increases your maximum hit points by 200 until you die.
Which
This, of course,
we just shouldn't, because then we have a problem.
yeah, things are real bad if you die. But we want to be above, like 400 is fine.
That is good.
That's great.
That's really, really good, actually. So you high potion, you can attack, you haste, and you keep on healing. Because, yeah, as you see, like 150 we get. There are spells that deal like 270 damage.
Yep. Tornado hits pretty darn hard. Chaos also has in the spell list down a little ways is Flare. How spell lists work, by the way, is that they're deterministic. They go in order from top to bottom. So the first spell is always... There are 2 lists, one for abilities, that's why you saw Inferno, and then the other list is spells, which would start with, I believe, Blizzaga from Chaos?
Yes.
Getting down to spell 5, which is really scary, because there's haste. There's haste Kiraja, which heals him for 10,000, and finally Flare.
Okay, now is probably the turn that matters.
Yep. With all of our characters buffed up now.
High potion, you attack. You... Where are my high potions? High potions. How can I be so blind? High potion, Hilara. Yeah, because we need to get our thing off before...
Before Cyclone here. This hits too hard. It's going to kill both the Fighter and the Thief, most likely, and this will be a reset. Yeah, pair of 270s.
Rip. I'll just
Ouch. Yep.
Chaos, no.
Chaos, yes.
Look at all the physicals it's dealing now. All the things we would have been fought before. But yeah, usually you should also like outspeed Chaos.
Yeah.
But yeah, of course, not when Cyclone happens.
No, not when it matters the most. Here's Slower, which would normally remove haste from a target, which we're obviously not concerned about. This should finish the job, unfortunately. But yeah, I guess maybe we didn't meme hard enough about really wanting to kill Chaos. Do we really want this, Nikki? Do we want to kill Chaos?
I think we want to kill Chaos.
I think we want to kill.
We
really want to
do.
kill Chaos.
We really
We
want
gotta
to
be
kill
confident
Chaos.
about this. Here we go.
Here we go. Come on. But
You gotta
yeah.
want it deep in your soul.
So Tsunami into Cyclone is the one thing that's really dangerous. And it's like, I mean, sure, in this case, Tsunami also went first. But
Yeah.
that's also not guaranteed. So like, if Tsunami goes second and Cyclone goes first, like there is just nothing you can do. Except for the White Mage. The White Mage is always lower because the White Mage at this point doesn't have any agility increasing equipment anymore.
Yeah, so the White Mage always goes last.
Haste. Lara. Alright, round 2.
Here we go. Gonna hit those giant Sonics.
So yeah, basically what we don't want to see is like the Blaze spell tier list. High potion. High potion. Haste. More Hilara.
Yep, everyone's topped up pretty good here at least, so there's that.
Yeah, we got our high potions off this time.
Yep,
Got the haste. There's Tsunami.
we're gonna heal much of this damage.
But yeah, Hilara is good against everything that's not Tsunami and Cyclone. It's just the TLDR.
Yeah, 233, 248 isn't quite enough. We're still sort of in the buffing phase here.
Yep. There's potion 1. That's
There's
just
the last
haste.
haste cast.
Alright, high potion number 2.
We're through. Now this is much better.
For now. For
the
now.
moment.
Yay!
So yeah, because this spell list is pretty short. It's just Blaze, Tsunami, Cyclone, Earthquake, Blaze, Tsunami. Yeah. Well, Earthquake is not a problem because we have ribbons on everyone. Unless you get, like, really weirdly rolled. So yeah, we can now start attacking and hope for the best. Because yeah, the next spell would be Earthquake or Blizzaga.
Yep, Blizzaga won't hit hard enough to kill anybody at this point. 229 is more than enough, so...
Yeah, so yeah, 20,000 HP.
We're getting through.
5K?
We're getting through. Yeah, we're doing about 5k paths with all of our regular attackers here. Could you please keep critting, folks? That is...
Also, could we just see something else except always these spells? Because, yeah, if we only see these spells, it's just not looking good.
Yeah, because then we could get into trouble here. This will heal us up all the way, though, still. Or close enough to it.
Close enough to survive tsunami, at least, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm totally not... okay, we good.
We're good. Fight's over now.
Finally a physical.
All right.
Finally, we can put this fight behind us.
Okay, time should be any moment.
Yeah, it'll be on the crack and boom.
Time.
There it is.
All right.
We did it. We killed Chaos, everybody.
We killed Chaos.
We really wanted it that time.
Yeah.
A lot.
Great job, GG.
But Final Fantasy 1 PSP. It's the only one that has a massive glitch.
It is the most broken of them all, yes.
It is the most broken of them all.
But yeah, as you can see, it's a little unsafe at the end. Not super unsafe, not extremely unsafe, but a little unsafe at the end.
A little unsafe. If Chaos decides that he wants you dead, then no strat in the world will ever protect you.
But yeah, we can have a little bit of a danger as a treat.
Yeah.
Awesome. Do y'all have any any shout outs you would like to say, and where can people find you on the internet?
Yeah. I mean, yeah, you can find me on Twitch usually, where I stream around this time. Yeah, well, Monday, Tuesday, Friday, Saturday. Lots of different runs. Still trying to get an Arceus submission in for SGDQ in the next days. I hope that's gonna work. Yeah, as a good May has said at some point, if I start with shoutouts, I don't know where to start and I will never end. So shoutouts to everyone.
There you go. Perfect.
You're all amazing.
Then you got them all.
Yeah. Yeah, shout out to everything
Especially
you
the
got
two
practice.
lovelies that are in my chat and voice chat with me right now.
Aw.
Thanks, Nikki. This was really fun.
Yeah, I hope you all enjoyed it.
How about you, Demi?
You can find me out on the internet, twitch.tv/Demarine2. There's a story, I won't tell it. And otherwise, you can find me over in the FF4 Free Enterprise community. Hey, look, I'm going to set your segue up now because the next run, of course, is a little involved with that, but is not the randomizer. I generally am on the randomizer side of things, but I heard we have unrandomized Final Fantasy IV coming up.
Yeah.
That is the case.
Run a bit of everything. Just 20 Final Fantasies. And a few others. It's not a big deal.
All right. Well, thank you so much for kicking off our Game of the Month celebration. We're having the 2 RPG runs up first because we've got Tina's RPG show, I guess, crossover with the Game of the Month. So I just put in the chat both the Twitch channels of Nikki and Demarine. Please give them both a follow. And also the schedule for the remainder of the runs we have today. We have a bunch more today and tomorrow. And yes, Final Fantasy IV is up next for all you RPG lovers. So we're going to head to a break. Don't go anywhere. We will be right back with more amazing Game of the Month runs by women in the Frame Fatales community. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Tina's RPG show, I guess, and the start of the Frame Fatales Game of the Month showcase. So all day today and tomorrow, we're showcasing all of the games that the Frame Fatales community server has learned since the program began in 2019. So basically almost over 2 years of learning new runs together as a community and getting to showcase all of them right now. And the Frame Fatales is an all-women speedrunning community, and we host 2 charity events a year, Frost Fatales and Flame Fatales. Our most recent event, Frost Fatales 2022, raised over $132,000 for Malala Fund. If you're a woman in the speedrunning community and would like to join our server, please send a DM to the @FrameFatales on Twitter or the Games Done Quick Instagram account, and that information is also available at gamesdonequick.com/framefatales. So, continuing with our little mini RPG block here, we have Final Fantasy IV Paladin % Quality of Life patch with Natara and the RPG chick. How are you two doing today?
Better now that we're here with you.
Oh my
I
goodness,
would agree
I'm
with
so
that.
excited. It's gonna be great.
We're ready for some good Paladin times. And
Absolutely.
definitely a little lower tech than the previous run in terms of, when it was made. You can see on the screen, 1991, baby.
Heck yeah, awesome. Well, are you ready to jump in and then talk all about the run?
Oh my gosh, I'm so ready. And we're going to jump right in because there is quite a long intro to this. So both
Perfect.
RPG Chick and I will have plenty of time to explain everything. So I'm going to count us in 3, 2, 1, start. So
All right,
welcome.
good luck.
Thank you. So this is Final Fantasy IV, known to many as Final Fantasy II US. It came out in 1991, and it's different from the original Japanese version because that was back in the days when folks thought that us in North America couldn't handle quite the challenge of the Japanese RPGs, and of course we quickly proved that was incorrect. But this means this is a drastically different game than the one they saw. I am also using a quality of life patch, so this is the same as the Super Nintendo version, but it adds a few little quality of life things, like I can toggle encounters on or off, I have a dash, and just very basic things like that. So all of the rest of it is the same. What I'm running here, other than step route things, which I don't need, is exactly the same category and run as you could do on your Super Nintendo cart you grew up with as a kid. So it's really helpful, really useful, and just makes it a little bit easier to speedrun this category. Paladin % is also our beginner category. This is not a full game category. We are only going until the point where Cecil becomes a paladin. Spoilers! And up until then, though, this is not a glitchless run. There is going to be some nonsense. I cannot wait to showcase it. There's even more nonsense in some of the full runs, but needless to say, if you watched Frost Fatales a few weeks ago and saw the RPG Chick, who is my lovely commentator, run the Pixel remaster of this, that was unfortunately, or well, not fortunately or whatnot, it was glitchless because it kind of had to be at this point. This, not the case at all. So, welcome RPG Chick.
Oh, hi, Natara.
Oh, hi. I hear rumors that we met speedrunning this exact category.
We might have during the very last Mysidian Mayhem tournament that was held.
Mm-hmm.
I missed that.
Me too. It was fun times. Yeah, lots of different Final Fantasy IV. There's a big community, lots of different runs because there are so many different versions of this game. And we have people running on all of them. So if you're interested in this game at all and learning speedruns, definitely come join us. Our community is so much fun. You can also get notes for this and other categories at ff4.accident, spelled AEXODEN.com. It has step routes. It just has the routing in general. It's super awesome. And yes, these are huge headphones made custom for me by my dear friend Corndan. It's super great.
For those of you who might not necessarily be familiar with step routes and have no idea what Natara is talking about, so in games like FF4 or FF2 US, depending on what kind of seed, what kind of RNG table you're on when you start the game or when you reset the game, will affect how many encounters you get in a certain space of time and on what steps you get those encounters on. So there is a step route, very, very detailed for this game in particular.
Oh gosh, it's wild.
Like every single seed, there's 255 of them, yes?
Yes.
Yeah. So all 255 seeds have been routed out so that you know exactly what encounters you're going to get and exactly at what point you're going to get them. So under normal circumstances, when you're playing the SNES version without the quality of life, most players, speedrunners, would start on seed 92, which would allow them to go completely encounterless all the way to the Mist Dragon, basically.
Yeah, which is so useful because especially in Paladin percent run, we don't fight any random encounters. So we're just running from everything. So we want as few encounters as possible because running takes time. And we don't want to have to do that if we don't have to. However, I have turned off encounters, so I don't have to worry about, which makes this version a little bit faster. And I don't have to worry about optional steps and extra steps. It's super fun.
This is a nice category, too, because a lot of people might find RPG speedrunning a little bit daunting just because of the length. And since Paladin percent is, even if you're really new to it, it's still only a little bit over an hour. It's not too bad in the grand scheme of RPG speedruns. And it's a good way to kind of wet your toes.
Yeah, and the step routing we were talking about isn't mandatory in any of the versions. Like, yes, it can make things easier and faster, especially if you know how to kind of manipulate them. But this run is fully accessible without any step routing at all. You can just run from all the encounters and hope you get a good pattern. And if you don't, you can still get a decent time. So it makes it even more accessible because let me tell you, learning RPG speedruns is one thing. Learning how to step route, whole other, especially in this game where it's not just like the same step route all the time like it is in, say, Final Fantasy VI. And I think even Final Fantasy V.
Yeah, Final Fantasy V, I think, is even more strict.
Yeah, yeah, I don't know about 5, but I know 6 for sure. It's just once you set up your step route, it's always going to be the same one. Also, I get to put my controller down for a minute. Get a nice stretch break.
There we go. You love to see it.
Yeah. One of the struggles with RPG speedrunning is mashing because it's trying to tell a story, and like all games are trying to tell a story. Let's be real here. But they're telling story here with conversation and talking, and so mashing is a whole science. And more different games and categories are allowing turbo, which is fabulous because while mashing is a skill and you can learn it and be faster than others with mashing, if you're someone who likes mashing like that, then please mash, but there are those of us who it hurts to mash. So turbo's real good and we like it. I was going to be using turbo for this run, and then my controller promptly stopped connecting to my computer. So we're on a Super Famicom controller. Like, this is not a mod. This is a Super Famicom controller. So I am mashing, which my hands are remembering how much I hate that. But that's okay. It's not going to be too bad. We like it. Also, we get to watch this beautiful prompt. And important question, RPG Chick. Why do the monsters keep increasing?
It's because I still don't have my sub 3 in the Pixel remaster.
Do this to us. And I don't have my sub 2 in the any percent category, no credits for. How could I do this to us?
It used to be a very big meme amongst the community members that they didn't have a sub whatever in whichever category.
And so you're the reasons the monsters keep increasing. Good luck! Okay, so we're ready to start, and we're going to immediately run into town by accident, but that's fine. So anyone who played this game just casually may not know about this Chocobo Forest. And we are going to use it because why walk when we can run? Especially with the quality of life patch. So here we go, Ryan up, we're going to the Mist Cave. So one of the things that this game introduced into the Final Fantasy system was the ATB system, the Active Time Battle system. And it's a thing, and you learn different ways to manipulate it and work with it in each of the games, but they try and demonstrate it and test it here. So I'm going to focus up for a minute if RPG Chick wants to talk about this fight.
So even though this is kind of meant to be a kind of a tutorial boss, it can still kind of peck a well up sometimes. So the idea with Dark Mist or Dragon Mist or whatever you want to call the lovely creature here in front of us is that after a certain amount of turns, it will turn to mist, literally. And if you attack the mist, it is going to counter-strike with a mist attack. And the mist attack can do a considerable amount of damage. So we are trying our best to kill it in 2 turns. There is, in this version, actually a sound cue so that you know exactly when to set Kane to jump up into the air.
Unless your timing is slightly off and you only get 6 hits and the 7th hit actually hits the mist form, and then it's all wrecked. So, but that's fine. We're just going to chill and wait here now. It just loses a little bit of time.
Yeah, it's not terrible in the grand scheme of things. Your hope, though, is to get a certain amount of attacks in the first round and a certain amount of attacks in the second round. But of course, because Cecil is Cecil, the amount of damage that Cecil can do can be very, very underwhelming, and then you get stuck doing a third round.
Hopefully it's not the case here. We're hoping to pull it around and still get our 2 turn. You may have seen me mucking about in the inventory. Don't worry about it. It's fine. I wasn't up to shenanigans, swear.
No shenanigans at all.
The glitches are not starting immediately. On.
We'll warm up to them, you know? We'll warm up.
Yeah, warm them up, yeah. What I was doing was initiating a item duplication glitch because I like money and I like it being free and I want lots of it. So we're going to do that.
In all honesty, if all I had to do was manipulate the items in my bag to get as much money as we're going to get, I mean, no brainer.
Yeah. Basically, I brought an empty space into my inventory and I'm going to sell it for a lot of money and it's going to be great.
So one of the really important things, if you're not running this on the quality of life version, is that you cannot run into any encounters after you have manipulated your inventory, because otherwise it's going to mess up everything.
And now do you want to talk about the mist clip, which I've already halfway done?
So Natara has done this little half-step kind of dealy over to the left with the tent, and now Natara is going to do another half step. This is kind of moving the map over, I believe, about a half a step.
It's saving where we are on the map. Good, I didn't muck it up.
But yeah, so in saving in that area, basically right on top of Mist, you're allowed to enter from the other side of the village, which means that the cutscene with the bomb ring is not going to activate until we actually step on that part of the map. So in being able to do these little half steps with the tent and then with the save, like I said, you end up moving the map over like a half tile, and it allows you to glitch into the other side of the town. And Natara's taking a little bit of a side detour here into the fireplace in Rydia's house to pick up the tiara, because tiara is very strong. You'll also notice that she sold all that nothing in her inventory for a heck of a lot of gold and picked up some dancing daggers.
Yep, I told them, hey, this empty space, it's actually like 600,000 shields. And they went, cool deal. I will give you 6 million gil for that. I went, cool, love it. And now I'm going to buy just 10 of these daggers. There's nothing special about them. They usually, this town, you can only re-access once you get the airship, which is over a third of the way through the game. So these items we're picking up are way better than we should be having at this point. So we have already, so by just skipping in, fooling the game, walking into this town, and saving an empty space, we have already made this a lot faster. It's these dancing daggers that I picked up, which make everything so much easier in this with the glitches. You can't do that in other versions, which is sad.
It is a little bit sad, I agree. But I will say that the dancing daggers in particular lose a lot of their oomph in a lot of the remakes and remasters.
Listen, that village knows what it did. I did them a favor. I took all the money, and then I said, hey, you should probably move somewhere else. And so they did.
Wow, they're good listeners.
They're just being helpful. We're a team here.
Yeah, exactly.
So our good pal, the Dragoon Kane, has disappeared. We're a little sad about it, but it's what happens. And yeah, as Kate Lipsy says, this speedrun is hilariously hilariously glitched. It's so much fun. We've actually done a lot of the worst glitching already. Not to say there isn't some more fun ones, but like one of the things which can make this run a little bit challenging is that one of the hardest glitches is 11 minutes into the run.
Yeah.
The misclip is not super easy to do, but I made it look incredibly easy, and I definitely wasn't practicing it for a full hour today before my
You're just
run.
that skilled. I mean, come
that's
on.
just skill,
You did make it look easy.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
So, but it's fun. It's fun to do because you're just like, hey, Gabe, I'm standing somewhere different. It's like, okay, I believe you.
Yeah, when I first saw this category before I started to run it, and I saw that was a thing, that it sold me.
Oh yeah, me too.
I was like, I need to run this.
What just happened? This is an hour speed run. It's only an hour. I was like, let's see if I can. That was way too slow. Yeah, and we can get into this and actually speed run a game I love. Yeah, we're in for this. So what I'm doing here is a technique called run buffering. Oh my god, I actually did it. No, I didn't. Oh, you fool. That's fine. So with the active time battle, when you try and run in an unrunnable battle, you actually rode. What the heck? You get a message come up just telling you, very helpfully, you can't run from this battle. You've got to fight this. And you go, oh darn. But while that message is up, the ATB for the battle stops for everybody, for your party, for the enemies. So any commands that you enter while that message is up are basically slotted into the queue ahead of where they should have been, because usually you're entering in commands while enemies are queuing things up, but they're not queuing things up while that message is up. So I was able to get a few hits in and kill a few of those enemies before they attacked me. If you get the ATB just right, you can actually not have them hit you at all. Also equipping our lovely, lovely new friend, Rydia, with a shiny new hat. Oh, please, why? Please let me through. No, don't do it. Don't do it. He did
Kaipo Hunk strikes again.
Kaipo Hunk, why? But yeah, we gave her the shiny hat we just got because she's a level 1 and has 30 HP and is actually going to be our damage powerhouse for the first beginning of the run. And someone who is a damage powerhouse is not very helpful when they're dead. And we are not getting her any levels before the first boss. So that tiara is going to ensure that she has a better chance of surviving. She still has 30 HP. So there's only so much we can do about that. Also, we're meeting a new friend here. His name is Tella. His daughter has run off to marry a troublesome bard, and he doesn't like it, so he's going to save her from herself or something, because Tella.
All right, Tella, you do you.
You do you, fam.
Tella is really good at doing things that he really shouldn't do.
Yes, he is. But he can't get through this cave because even though he's powerful, the boss at the end of this cave is much more powerful than him. So he sees a little girl who he can identify as a summoner and this Dark Knight and is like, oh, hey, they'll help me get through. They'll help me save my daughter. Thanks, Tella. We love Tella.
We do, but Tella does Tella things. There's a reason that Tella life is a thing.
Oh, God. Don't you say that. Don't you? Oh, my God, no. Oh, this run is over. God. Tella life is when you tell Tella to do a thing. Yeah.
If I commentate or curse Natara will never forgive me.
I will absolutely forgive you, but I will cry a little. So Tella, there are things in this game which shouldn't miss but can. And for some characters, they will never miss. But Tella's old. So his stats are lower, and the higher his level is, the lower his stats get, because he's hit that point where he's not getting stronger as he ages, which I think was a clever way to do things, but is a bit of a struggle. And so he has the potential to actually miss on spells, which are just like, hold on a sec, that spell can miss? Yeah. So hopefully we have not ensured that will happen. But let's just have fun and take the hits as they come.
So for the most part, and as we traverse through this cave, we're going to be skipping pretty much all the treasure chests except for one, So she picked up a dark sword in the other part of the dungeon, and it is for a good reason, obviously, for an increase in stats for Cecil, but also because Octomam is weak to dark. So it is a very big boon for this fight.
Okay, I get Tella actually being useful for a bit. Time to get you powerful, Rydia. So the Dancing Dagger, when used as an item, actually does a lot of damage, and it counts as a magical attack, which will matter later. So as you can see, Rydia just did double the damage that Cecil, our main damage dealer, is doing. We like Rydia. She's great.
Octomammoth is pretty much one of the fastest bosses in the game, and as you cut down the tentacles, it does get a little bit slower with each one gone, and the way that it works is the first tentacle comes off after 3 hits, and then each one comes off after 2 hits. So the faster that we can knock those tentacles off, the better it is.
Because we don't want this boss to be super fast. That is bad for us.
It is possible with the dancing daggers to actually kill it before it gets to even 1 tentacle, but you have to have really good damage rolls for that. But it is possible. It has happened.
Yeah. Oh, I was so scared there for a moment. So Tella's only useful for so long, and then he is actually just slowing everything down. So we asked him to cast Stop on himself once we had slowed down the boss enough to make things a little bit easier for us.
Yeah, him taking his turns after a certain point of getting the Octomammoth slowed down is, it's slow. Mm-hmm. We don't want him doing anything.
We really do not.
Just stay out of the way, Tella.
Yeah.
You're just
chill.
in the way.
Yeah, well, another reason we like to wait a bit more is because he does do some hits and some damage, but we need him in case Rydia takes a bad hit. And by this point, it's pretty unlikely, but we really need her to get the experience she's going to get for being alive here, because levels are good. She's our main damage dealer. We don't want her to die. So that went well. She got her levels. Everything's good. So
yeah, one of the weirdest things about this version of the run, this version of the game's run, I should say, is that the 2 people who are typically some of the least useful in the beginning of the game are some of the most useful throughout the course of this run.
It's fabulous. It makes you feel real good. Also, so we're heading to Damcyan here, not because Tella wants to save his daughter, but because our good pal and girlfriend Rosa is sick, because she tried to get to Cecil and be like, hey, can I help? And she got sick from the desert, and the only cure is a sand ruby, which the Kingdom of Damcyan are the keepers of. And unfortunately, they're also a holder of a crystal, which Baron is trying to get. And yeah, they just bombed it. And here's the Bard versus Tella. What could possibly go wrong? Like the chat is like, stay the line. Stay the line. So what I'm doing here is absolutely irrelevant for this run. It's just muscle memory for the any percent runs. But it pauses the timer. The text will still go. Tella won't attack while it's paused. But the in-game timer pauses, which for the any percent no credits warp run is critically important, because the in-game timer actually affects things and the huge glitch in that. But we don't get that far in this run, but habit.
But hey, we had Spoony Bards. We're good.
We did have Spoony Bards. Yo, Spoony Bard! So, turns out the bard that ran away with Tella's daughter, Anna, is actually the Prince of Damcyan. And Anna, during the attack, jumped in front of Edward in order to shield him from an incoming attack, because in her eyes, it was more important that he lived being the prince of this kingdom. So Tella's upset. He manages to body this powerful Dark Knight in full armor out of the way, because he is now going to take revenge on the Red Wings and their new commander, Golbez. Edward is sad, which, fair. And Rydia being 7, let us be clear right now, this child is 7 years old, has more sense than any of the adults, which is terrifying. It's terrifying for the adults.
The kids in this game definitely have more sense than all of the adults.
Yeah, and you're just like, why? She's a child. Protect her. But yes, so in a very bad show of how you help your friends or people you know when they're suffering, Cecil's like, Eddie, please, we need you. And Edward's like, fine. So, yeah, this game really shows its age sometimes.
But the nice thing is we're going to get the hovercraft so that we can go retrieve the sand ruby. And we're also going to make Eddie our second major damage dealer.
Eddie is useful. I hate saying those words.
I know, it's wild.
I hate it. I hate everything about it, but it's true. So here we go, going to the Antlion Cave, taking the superior route, because in step routing terms, both the upper path and the lower path have exactly the same amount of steps. So it literally does not matter which path you take up there, but the top path is more twisty-turny and interesting, and therefore the superior path fight me.
Yeah, definitely the superior path.
Can you tell this is an in-community fight? We have a lot of really foolish fights. On things that don't matter at all, and it's the best. Another
it's
one.
Okay. We have a top route, bottom route in Celeste Farewell as well. It's just
it matters.
Just a speedrunning community thing. It just is.
Okay, so Eddie's here. So Antlion is actually supposed to be a difficult fight. However, because he will physically counterattack, like he'll counterattack any physical attack. But these beautiful dancing daggers, they're magic attacks. So we are totally fine. Get down there, Shadow. Oh, I gotta hit you again. Why would you do that? Nobody wanted that. Get out of here, inventory stuff. Thank you. Bum, 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 ba-dow. So 3-4 hits with that dancing dagger and Antlion gone. Total joke. Which is fun because those hits, they hurt quite a bit. And where we didn't level anyone up, Rydia's got Chocobo. I think that's all she's got, which is fair, but her MP is also really low. Also, I have to walk out.
She does not have a lot of MP at the start, unfortunately.
No.
And Chocobo costs quite a lot of MP for how much she actually has.
Yeah, exactly. And it's good. So the chest I picked up on the way was purely a safety item, which you rarely need in the quality of life patch, but habit and knowing how this game likes to be mean makes me pick it up. And it's just our safety life, just in case someone dies who shouldn't. It can help. The game knows when you don't have it, and so I always pick it up, even though technically it's a time loss, but meh. Okay, don't do a Kaipa hunk.
At this point, we're not as concerned with Rydia because things are going to happen later, but we need Eddie to really be alive for the next boss fight coming up because there is going to be a thing called the Fabul Gauntlet, and we need Eddie to stay alive for as long as that gauntlet as we possibly can have him be alive.
Oh yeah, he got one shot, I think, I did a bunch of practices yesterday. He got one shot, I think, in the first of 6 battles. My first try, and I just reset then. You don't continue at that point. And then the second time, I think he died in the 4th fight, and then Yang died shortly after. But Cecil actually carried me through. I made it through, but I was just like, oh god. And that is probably the hardest part of this game because it's RNG, and you gotta hope and pray.
Yeah, wow.
So good. Yeah, I don't go ahead.
One of the other nice things about Eddie having the dancing dagger is for situations like this coming up here. He has a really, really poor hit chance with his harp. And because this fight is actually based on 3 hits, having him both in the middle slot and with the dancing daggers, he's much more likely to hit this water hag, which has quite a lot of HP from what I've heard, Natara.
45,672 to be precise.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
Eddie can totally handle this.
Oh, Eddie's fine. Him and his 70 HP. Though one of the problems with this fight is actually that both the water hag and Eddie without the dancing dagger have abysmal accuracy. And so we actually have a clip in the community, it's so old at this point, of just Eddie and this water hag missing back and forth for like 5 minutes. And you're just like, when is somebody gonna hit? Like, I don't even care if the water hag wins at this point. Just somebody hit. It's... But yeah, accuracy has changed depending on what position you're in the like party order. And the middle position there where Eddie was has the highest boost for anyone who is in that position. So we make sure Eddie's there, and being in that position and with the dancing dagger gives Eddie the Final Fantasy IV equivalent of 100% accuracy. Meaning he doesn't have 100% accuracy, but he will also never miss. For, reasons. So you'll probably notice, as a question about the quality of life patch, notice that I'm moving much faster than you probably remember anyone moving in the Super Nintendo version. That is from the patch, as is this dash, and the fact you won't see me get a single encounter. I have turned them off because ain't got no time for that. So we're gonna go a little slower here because... But yeah, you're not going to see me safety save in most spots here because I just am not worried. I am not at all concerned that there's going to be a problem. You will see me safety save outside of Fabul. Every time. Because it's scary. But yeah, so here we come to our first of 2 elemental walls. And it's an ice wall, and we need someone who can cast fire to melt it. And the only person we have with us who can even consider to cast black magic is Rydia. But we just burned her house down after killing her mother, so she doesn't like fire at all. So Rosa is either the best therapist in the world or has really good treats, and somehow convinces Rydia that, hey, yeah, you can cast fire. It's fine. It's a good skill for a 7-year-old to have. And so she learns how to use fire, and we're never going to use it again. So you're like, thanks. That's great. That's so good. Yeah, the fire spell is so completely useless. But at least we melted that wall, right? Okay.
Best plot device spell ever.
Okay, good. Numbers are good so far. So I have no control over this. This is an auto fight. But the values are random. So I can slightly manipulate this fight if need be. We do actually have a chart which shows all the values and tells us, when I should be manipulating. And I usually YOLO it. And I was pretty sure those were good values. Yeah, there we go. So
it's a good thing because he missed on his punch.
I mean, he did that to me yesterday, and that's how I knew he was safe. So it meant it was only 3 hits. Okay, so I'm going to focus here if you want to...
Sure. So Mom Bomb technically has 3 different phases, which is the small bomb phase here. After a certain amount of damage, it will transform into the larger Mom Bomb, and then after another damage threshold, it will explode into 6 mini bombs, 3 gray and 3 red. So we're going to basically dancing dagger it until we hit that HP threshold, but I'm bad with numbers, so...
Maybe I don't know what it is.
But once it explodes, we're going to pray Eddie lives, and if not, we're going to bring him back to life because we really need him to get the XP from this fight.
It'll be
if
fine.
Rydia or
that
Rosa...
was a low hit. Good. That was one of the lowest explodes I've seen in a while.
Yeah, if Rydia or Rosa die during this fight, it's really not the biggest deal. Natara is also having Yang do kicks just to increase damage across all the bombs, but if you do not kill the bombs after a certain amount of turns, they will explode on your party members. So that's why...
Oh, you did not!
That's why Natara is trying to focus down the gray bombs with the dancing daggers because the dancing daggers will do more damage.
Don't explode.
How dare you, Mom?
Will you leave him? Oh, no.
Oh, no.
Oh, that's fine. We'll do it. It just means that Eddie's going to have about 10, 15 less HP for the Fabul Gauntlet, which is already scary. It's fine. It's fine. Annoying, but it's fine.
At least he got all the other levels everywhere else he was supposed to, so it's not the end of the world.
FF4
but it makes it a little scarier.
FF4 knows. It does everything to make you fear. You think you're fine? You think you know this game? FF4 knows.
It does.
It knows. Anyone who speeds on this game, that's why I pick up the safety life. Every time.
And it doesn't matter which version of the game you run, FF4 always knows.
Don't taunt FF4 because it will end you. That's fine. We got this.
But we're just going to make our way over to Fabul, and I know Natara is going to safety save outside of it because,
It's scary.
So there's, what is it, 6 fights for the gauntlet? Yeah, so 6 fights for the gauntlet. And the longer Eddie lasts, the better. But if Eddie goes down in the first couple of fights, it's more than likely that Natara is going to reset.
100%.
Yeah, and just to make the following fights a little bit easier, and we're gonna hope for the best.
But nothing could possibly go wrong.
Chat.
Nothing could possibly go wrong. I know.
But yeah, because of 90s things, we have kicked the females out of our party, and we have
because
no
having a healer and a black mage summoner would be totally not useful here.
No, not useful at all.
So yeah, we have no healing items, literally none. Oh, good.
So run buffering is going to be really, really, really important during these fights, especially with the generals and the fighters. The more hits that Natara can get out before the fighters attack, the safer Eddie will be.
Also, Yang and Cecil sometimes decide they have jelly arms in this fight, or in these fights, so we want to make sure. I don't think I got that out, but that's fine. So Eddie's even more important, because we're like, okay, thanks. It's one of the reasons it's so important to get that sword back before Octomam, because we're still using that same sword, and it's good.
Yeah.
It's good.
Yeah, unfortunately, even if you're just playing it casually, Cecil doesn't get a new sword until after this gauntlet is over. So,
you love every bit of it.
If you're wondering about the inventory movements that Natara is doing during the course of these fights, so the no credit warps category has this very, very specifically set up end game glitch, and it's more of practice for that than necessary for the paladin percent.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
because
exactly
you have to have a certain amount of items in your inventory of specific items in specific amounts in specific places.
That run's fun. I love that run so much. Anyway,
it is an amazingly glitchy run to watch, though.
Oh, I love it. And also, though, inventory management in FF4 is just really important because the closer your items are, the closer your items are to the top, the faster you can get to them. So it's
also true.
Also, if we have a choice between hurt Edward and dead Edward, like we don't want him hiding, we want, it's not, no point. We would rather him dead than hiding because he takes up time when he's hiding. We don't want either ideally, but he's got basically 1 hit left before he starts to hide. At this point, we're fine. It's just not good.
And especially for this gargoyle fight here, after a few turns, the gargoyle will cast, I think it's weak, right?
Yeah, it's weak.
Yeah, so the gargoyle will cast weak in this fight if you don't kill it in a certain amount of turns. And having Eddie for this fight in particular is pretty important because it's hard for Yang and Cecil to get gargoyle down in those amount of hits.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, there we go, hide. But he will shoot off that dagger before he hides, so you know what, that's fine. You should have killed, actually no, they wouldn't have gotten his hit off. So we're fine, I won't reset at this point, it's just unfortunate. Gonna be a little bit shorter, a little bit longer, sorry. But we're at the last
thankfully,
fight.
Yeah, it's not much left in the gauntlet.
And both Yang and Cecil have an appropriate HP amount, and neither of them will die, so even if they jelly arms a bit, we'll be good.
I love jelly arms. Big fan of that description.
Final Fantasy IV cover band, jelly arms, and the spoony bars.
Yes.
Oh god, do I have to start a band now? Oops, I didn't want to show.
I think you're legally required to.
Yeah, I think I am.
I think so.
I do believe it is the law. Okay, yeah, just keep hitting Yang. It's fine. Don't worry about it. Okay, there we go. We're good now.
We're good.
No, apparently we're going to show. It's fine. Okay, we did it. Fabul Gauntlet conquered. There is still 1 fight left. But this one doesn't matter because it doesn't matter. There's speed tech, but we can't die. Or wait. Hold on. Yes,
Oh,
we
look,
can
it's
die.
Kane.
Oh, wow. Hey, friends. Stop. Why are we fighting? This is hugging, right? Look, my HP's full again. We're good.
So in this fight, the best thing to do to minimize, wow, I can't words, is to minimize the amount of dialogue in this fight. So the more damage that Kane does to Cecil, the better. The more damage Cecil can do to Cecil, the better. The faster Cecil dies and runs out of HP in that fight, the better.
But you can't win it, so why try? So there's a fight in the any percent categories where you fight the Dark Elf, and and it's a fight where I think technically you can win, but not really. And even if you do, it's the same effect. So we just make it so you die immediately. You walk in, you die. And they're just like annihilated. You're like, perfect. Because we ain't got time to die on your time. We're dying on my time, thank you. No, don't take my crystal, Kane. So yeah, Kane's bad now. Bye. And he will not be redeemed.
Sorry.
No, sorry, go ahead. I'm done.
Evil armor dude stole our girlfriend.
Always. Yeah. Which is just rude. Like, come now. Rosa's better than everybody. We took her. Also, once again, the 7-year-old child somehow has, like, life, which, by the way, is not a spell she learns, ever. And just cures us all. And so, our friends here are being sad, and the 7-year-old is like, hey, Mopin's not gonna help Rosa. And they're like, yeah, you know what? You're right. I'm like, please, she is 7. Please have more sense than the 7-year-old. Oh, gosh. I love the crew in this game so much. They're so silly.
It is definitely an interesting cast, to say the least.
They make me giggle. It's so much fun. So yeah, we're just coming to the into plan. So plan is, we need a boat because we need to go to Baron. Baron has Rosa. Baron is stealing the crystals. If we go to Baron, we can stop them now, get Rosa back, get the crystals, save the day. It'll be great. So we're talking to a king, and the king's like, hey, sup? We're like, give us a boat, and the king's like, okay, sure. No, that's all I need to do. Okay. I had to do that. Yes, I just did.
Did you unequip? Okay.
Yes. I forgot to do an unequip. I just did in my practice run, and things went bad. So that beautiful tiara we gave Rydia, we're stealing back. Sorry. We noticed your hair was getting a bit flat. We need to take the hat back. Sorry. Okay. And in we go. Boat time.
Because nothing bad ever happens on a boat in an RPG.
Never, ever. Especially a mandatory plot boat. So there's Yang's wife. Her name, as gets revealed in later versions, is Sheila. Everyone say hi to Sheila. She is the best. We stan her. Even though her name is just Yang's wife, but she is the best. And if she could be a playable character, I would play her every time. Like, she is the best.
Any waifu who gives us a dart that can do 9999 damage, she's good in my book.
Gives us a dart and literally gives us a frying pan to hit her husband when he's napping on the job. She's just like, oh, I can fix that, and hands you a frying pan. You're like, okay, cool, whatever. And as soon as you bring it to Yang, he's like, oh, I'm sorry, wife, I'll get out of bed. And he just leaves, and you're like, not questioning? Nope. Okay, so we have a very important debate here. This is the most important debate of the Final Fantasy IV community. Does Yang jump, or is he pushed? Very strong divisive opinions about it. It has broken our community. No, not really, but it is a very important thing. I am on team Yang was pushed. You're gonna see in this cutscene now. Keep an eye out, judge for yourself. Chat, let us know. Did he jump in, a heroic move to save someone in danger? Or did we see Cecil's last evil act?
Oh, he's definitely pushed. And especially in later versions, it's so much more obvious that he's pushed.
Absolutely. So it's coming up now. Just keep an eye out. A well-trained monk of Fabul would never just fall. Okay, here we go. We're being attacked by Leviathan. Yes, I did say Leviathan. Bye, Radio. Oh, I'm sorry, that was a push.
It was.
Yeah. And Eddie just Eddie knows how physics works. Hops on the ground and going, you can't push me if I'm lying down. There's so much more surface area. Staying here being safe. Unfortunately, none of us are safe from the giant whirlpool.
Eddie might be a coward, but at least he's a smart coward.
Cowardice keeps you alive. All I'm saying
is true.
Here.
This is true.
We doing a bacon sizzle? Sadly, no. The bacon sizzle is a reference to the big giant glitch we do in the any % no credits warp run. If you mess that up in exactly the right way, you get a sound that sounds like bacon sizzling. And it is, you don't want it. It's called baconing, and you don't want to bacon on your run. We love bacon, but not in speedrunning. I don't need to sell anything. What am I doing? This is not any of those runs. Okay, so I'm using my extraordinate amount of money to buy lots of items. You'll note I'm not buying any equipment. That's because this is Paladin %. It's a waste of time. If you are running this for the first time or are new to this category, I highly recommend buying armor. However, if you've been running this game for years like me and like a bit of danger in your life, you skip it because it's faster. I'm not saying this won't go horribly wrong, but it's less likely to. So we'll see. So here we are. We have showed up in the town we started in and stole a crystal from. We go up to the guardian of this town and the elder, and we're like, hey, we're trying to save the world. Can you give us a boat? Can you help me? And he's like, nah. And you're like, excuse me? He's like, nah, you killed a bunch of our people and stole our crystal. We're not helping you. And Cecil's just like, okay, fair. What can I do to get you to trust me? And the elder thinks about it, and he's like, okay, go to this mountain and become a paladin. And Cecil's like, I don't have time for this. We're going to save the world. And elder's like, no paladin, no saving. And he says, so of course, Cecil's like, fine, we'll do it. And then the elder's like, and take these 2 5-year-old twins with you. So you don't trust me to save the world, but you'll trust me to take 2 5-year-olds. Excuse me?
It's fine.
Oops.
It's totally fine.
Yeah, totally fine. There we go. It's like, Elder, why? Like, I understand you not helping us. Like, that makes total sense. But don't send 5-year-olds. Yes, their canonical age is 5.
Meanwhile, at the Legion of Doom.
Yeah, at the bowling alley. I have to take a test to get a sacred sword? Ugh. Don't worry. I'm throwing that test in the trash. We don't do tests here.
It makes me laugh so hard now to see the bowling ball.
I know. It's so, like, why would Square think that putting a bowling ball there to threaten Rosa was less gruesome than a sharp blade? Just think about it for a minute. Like, because again, this was in the age of heavy censoring from all the English translators.
So we're going to run into an old friend here who just happens to be going the wrong way on this mountain.
Nothing about Tella makes sense.
Tella is just vibing. And you know what? Love that for him.
Yeah, you know what? It's right. We do love that for him. And like, you show up and he's going the wrong way. He's like, I need to get special power here, but I'm just so lost. And these 2 5-year-olds are just like, oh my God, it is the Tella. I cannot believe we are meeting him. And Tella's just like, okay, adults are talking now. And ignores them completely. You're just like, Tella, be nice. Everything about this conversation just makes me giggle because he's just like, I ain't got time for this. Adults are talking. You're like, yes, because the adults are the smart one in this game. But yes, now we have gotten Cecil again. So we've got not Cecil, Tella. So we've got an old man, 2 children, and an evil Dark Knight. Nothing could possibly go wrong.
No, not at all.
Yeah, so we are going to do some menuing though. So no, wrong one. So we are going to put that tiara on because we like not dying. We are going to put those there, and let's put that there for lulz. And we are going to save because I like safety. So we're hearing these.
Natara is the master of the safety save.
The fact lots of the really good speedrunners in the community don't even safety save in front of Fabul. They just YOLO. I'm like, wouldn't be me. Okay, so we're not doing anything particularly special here. We're just using Cure 2 on the zombies.
I mean, they're undead, so cures and holy magic in general works pretty well on them.
Yep, and because you only need one twin to initiate the twin cast, we can use one of them to toss one of those Cure 2s, and the other one to initiate it. Oh, I was just a little bit too slow. Oh, I got drained the worst. So go ahead.
Sorry.
No, you go
The
ahead.
unfortunate thing in this version is that there are no JP items to kind of make fights a little bit easier on us. So that's why we're kind of stuck with these Cure 2s here.
Go. No, don't use the rod. Take a dancing dagger. Stop that. Thank you. Now, technically, I don't need to use those dancing daggers there, but they add a little... Uh-oh. Heck. So, good news.
FF4, gonna FF4. Yep. FF4, it knows.
It knows. Don't you do it. Thank you. You'll see Porm is taking no damage from those lits. Don't do it. Okay, thank you. And it's because of the tiara we gave her. Please cure
It
my
is
tiny man.
really important that Pelham lives through this
Still
fight.
down. Look at him. He's still crouching. Oh, my body. So, okay, we've killed Mylon. There could be nothing possibly else on this bridge. Okay. Everything's good. Making it through. Now it's time for the real test. But we're going to go back and save because I like safety. Okay, we got to do a bunch of changing. That. And we're going to do that. That. Cure some friends up because I don't want them to die. And we're
Don't
gonna
look away, chat. You're going to want to watch what happens next.
Yeah, definitely keep an eye on it. We're definitely not getting up to any shenanigans. Okay. On. Do it. So we know this is a back attack, so we've planned for it. Now I'm going to focus.
Okay, so we're gonna throw Mylon Z exactly where he deserves to be thrown, in the trash.
In the trash.
So the way this kind of works is that we're going to kind of initiate Pelham on the twin cast.
Oh, that just got mucked up. Don't worry about it. We're gonna do it again.
But basically, we're going to initiate Pelham on the twin cast, but we're going to kill off Quorum before they can actually do the spell cast. And in that case, Pelham gets kind of stuck in this automatic mimic mode, and he will mimic whatever the last thing is done before him, in which case we'll be Cecil swapping a trash can for a Cure 2. It is a difficult thing to do because Mylon Z can just be an absolute butt.
Which he's doing. Which he is choosing to do.
There is a very similar one that can be done in the first Mylon fight, which doesn't save as much time as Trash Can does, which is Carrot.
And it's much more complicated to actually do.
Yes, it's... unless you're really going for world records, a lot of the runners will not bother with Carrot. There are alternate strats, of course, to take care of the Mylon Z fight, especially Piggy Pally. Piggy Pally is a very big one in the community. Because of the tiering of status effects in this game, the poisons will not affect your party if they are Piggy, and it makes the fight a little bit easier to go through. And you can either throw Cure 2s at Mylon, you can have the twins do twin cast until Mylon Z just decimates them. But there are lots and lots and lots of strats that can be done for this fight. So we put Pelham into mimic mode. Tella stops Cecil from actually doing his action. And that puts...
Oh no, don't do it. Be Tella. Oh, thank God.
And so Palom mimics Cecil with the trash can, and we finally get to throw Mylon Z in the trash.
And let me note here for the record, this wasn't being a troll. I forgot to equip Cecil's new sword, so the agility was mucked up. I was like, why is Mylon Z going before Cecil? So the fact that I still managed to pull that off, even with mucked up agility, I'm going to take that as a win.
That was clutch.
Yeah, I'm going to take that as a win. Yeah, I was supposed to equip the black sword I got. But again, better to forget that than to forget the tiara. And we still tossed Mylon Z in the trash.
Yeah, the two items, when you can use them in battle like that, they have, one has a flare property, basically, and one has a holy property. And that's why they're so heckin' effective against Mylon and Mylon Z.
And not just a flare or a holy property, times 8.
Times 8, right? I forgot about that part. Thank you.
Yeah, so we are not a paladin yet. This run does not end until it says Cecil has become a paladin. Right now, we've just received a holy sword. We have to fight the darkness within, which we are definitely giving up now that we have pushed Yang. And we're going to do things. So the supposed strategy, what you're supposed to do for this fight, is not fight, heal yourself, because fighting isn't always the way. But we've got dancing daggers, and Cecil can equip them now, so we don't care about that. And in this English version, they changed Dark Knight Cecil's HP, so he's only got like 1200, so we can actually kill him before he starts talking and, being like, blah, blah, blah. Whatever, and so we're just gonna destroy him.
That feel when the villain monologues?
Yeah. When your inner dark self-villain monologues to your face, you're like, I know it, come on, it's fine. You just hit them in the face with magical daggers instead. I mean, that's what everyone does, right? Okay, here we go. And... time.
GG.
Yay!
Oh yeah, if there's a Final Fantasy game, there's a speedrun of it. I don't run most of them because anything over 4 hours is extraordinarily too long for me. My max is generally 3 hours because they're long.
A lot of the earlier FF games have stair glitches, which I think FF3 JP is a 5-minute any percent run.
Yeah, you're just like, it's so silly. Do I have time to show off a really silly glitch?
Absolutely.
Okay, cool. Yes, excellent. So
sweet.
There's extra glitch tech that you do in this game for the longer categories. We have no reason to ever use it in the Paladin % category. But it doesn't mean we can't do it. So one of the things we like to do after a Paladin % run is celebratory glitching. So let's see if Tella plays ball here. So we're just gonna cure some peeps up now that he's got all this, and he's got next to no. Oh my god, I did it, and there we go. So right now, Tella's HP is Boomerang 06. Don't worry about it. It's fine. It's totally cool. Nothing could possibly go wrong with that amount of HP.
That's my favorite MP amount, honestly.
Right? I don't know. I'm a big fan of Black Box 05 Fire Claws. That one makes
that's good
me
too.
Super happy. Oh, we've got to turn encounters back on, Natara. Good. I do this every time in the quality of life patch. I'm gonna walk around and get an encounter and show off cool things. Why am I not getting any encounters? So we're gonna cover Tella. We don't care about anyone else. Tella is the show, is the master here. So you can actually do this glitch with any character who can use magic. Now, one of the plot things in this game is that Tella does not have enough MP to use the spell Meteo. It takes 99 MP and he has 90. No matter what level you get him to, he will always have 90 MP. But I just did what's called an MP underflow glitch. I used up most of my MP and then did a 1-frame trick to move my cursor up to allow me to use a spell I didn't have enough MP to use. But since I used it, the game was like, oh, well, they obviously had enough MP to use it. But then that underwrites and underflows your MP, so Tella can now cast Meteo. Enjoy! We use this to great effect for a little bit. in the any percent runs. Unfortunately, third time's the charm for Tella, and it doesn't go so well. But thank you to GDQ and Tina's RPG show, I guess, for having us, for the wonderful Flygon for being our host, and for RPG Chick for having me and being with me.
You know, I will always co-commentate.
Yay! So I hope you folks all stick around. There's so many more Game of the Month games which we have had, and they're all so cool, and the people running them are amazing. So definitely stick around.
Absolutely. Thank you so much again, Natara and RPG Chick. That was such a blast. So yeah, with that concludes the Tina's RPG show, I guess, portion of the Frame Fatale's Game of the Month celebration. So now we're jumping back to the first game we ever learned in 2019, which is Pokemon Snap for the Nintendo 64. But before we do that, just want to talk about if you would like to join the Frame Fatale's community and the Game of the Month program sounds fun to you, like I've gotten to learn a ton of new speed runs, you can head on over to gamesdonequick.com/Frame Fatales for information on how to join and also about our awesome events. And your subs, gift subs, Prime Gaming subs, and bits help support our weekly hotfix content. So please consider supporting us if you enjoy these hotfix shows. But don't go anywhere because we have plenty of games left to come. You can do !GOTM or !schedule and check out what's coming up down the line for the rest of the day. We're going to be going well on into past midnight Eastern, so plenty of runs still. We're going to take a short break and we'll be right back. And I was your host for this first little segment, Frozen Flygon, and going to be switching in with Cutie Roo, another awesome showrunner. So thank you all so much for having me, and excited for the rest of today and tomorrow for our little mini marathon.